The Legion of Soldiers, the strongest civilization for hire. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 176. Tell the truth. After thinking for so long, you finally figured it out. Chen teased Du Cao. Since you said this, I have thought about it for a long time. To be honest, I am very suspicious of you. However, you have almost mastered all our secrets, but now decades have passed. If you really want these things, you would have come to rob them long ago. After all, the space technology you possess is so terrible that we have no way to capture the space fluctuations you generate. I know that the purpose of your troops coming here is definitely not to protect us as you said, but I don't care. We have cooperated many times, and I hope that this cooperation will also go smoothly, Du Cao said. This is what Du Cao chose to say after thinking for a long time. After all, the power that Chen possesses is too terrible, and what they possess is almost known to the other party. Then it is better to be honest, agree to the other party's request, and put forward your own conditions based on this. I will give you the resources you need, and I will also give you civilization shelter. I came here for other purposes. I need to use you as a base to expand our civilization. Expansion. Du Cao grasped the word sharply. Yes, expansion. Chen did not deny it. What do you want to do? Du Cao slammed the table and stood up. Since you are honest, then I will tell you clearly. I am not just the master of a civilization. In fact, I am the king of a cosmic empire. Du Cao's eyes widened in shock. Our empire is in a cooperative relationship with the Demon Civilization and the Norse Civilization. The three of us have a total of 4 9th-level combat forces. Chen slowly said this thing that was enough to shock the entire universe. And I am also a 4th-generation divine body. What are you planning? Du Cao's voice was already trembling. 4 9th-level combat forces, the Cosmic Empire. This is a force that can challenge the Angel Civilization and become the most powerful force in the known universe. In fact, our goal is very simple, to have power and continue to survive in this universe. When Chen said this, his tone was actually a little deep, which made Du Cao feel that he was pretending. But in fact, what Chen said was not wrong. The Demon Civilization wanted to find a home and not be chased and beaten by the Angel Civilization every day. The Norse Civilization has always been the weakest 9th-level civilization in the known universe. Because of the inaction of the monarch, it has been oppressed by the Samton Civilization for thousands of years. As for the Shura Empire, Chen will not forget how he died in his previous life, and even if he now has the 9th-level combat power, he still feels endless pressure in the dream world. The Death God Civilization that will become a 10th-level civilization, the database of Reliant, the Terror of the Void, and there may even be more unknown threats. As for these, Chen is not sure that he can fight against them now. The end of war will only be self-destruction, and there will never be a real winner in war. Du Cao said 2 famous quotes, and this is Du Cao's most real feeling now. After all, his title of war maniac in the past is notorious in the universe. Everyone and everything is different. What you have experienced and the lessons you have learned may not apply to me. Chen drank a sip of tea without caring. If your expansion here is exposed and attracts the attention of the Angel Civilization, they can easily detect that you are from us. Du Cao shook his head. After he learned everything, he changed his mind. And all this was also within Chen's expectations. After all, it was not long before the army of the Shura Empire came here to open up a drastic expansion road. Du Cao and others could not fail to notice it. Rather than waiting until the two sides quarreled, it is better to confess now. The angels will not notice this place. If they notice it, we will force them to stay. Oh, don't forget, we have the Demon Civilization over there, and the Angel Civilization is bound to come and fight with us. At that time, even if they find out about what is happening here, they will not be able to take care of it. In addition to the Angel Civilization, other advanced civilizations will not focus on this remote place. Du Cao was silent. As a former war commander of the Demon Civilization, he had also investigated the styles of doing things in various civilizations in the universe. And what Mo Chen said now was indeed not wrong. What about the Liang civilization? This civilization will not allow you to expand here. I will go to the Liang civilization myself. Mo Chen only said this. You seem very confident. Emperor Han Kun can indeed destroy a 9th level combat force, but he can only destroy it once, and after destroying it, he will need thousands of years to repair the price he paid. As for Pan Zhen, he is just a 3rd-generation divine body, and the stellar power he can drive is not worth mentioning compared to Emperor Han Kun. Okay, since you said so, then prove it to me. Du Cao also imitated Mo Chen and calmly drank a sip of tea. As long as you can negotiate with the Liang civilization, I can agree to you. Mo Chen stood up. I know the concerns in your heart, Humphrey. In that case, let me dispel your concerns. Mo Chen left the small courtyard where he and Du Cao had talked, and went directly to the Liang civilization through space teleportation. Chapter 177 Blazing Sun. The distance between the Liang civilization and Blue Star is not actually close. The reason why the Liang civilization noticed the existence of Blue Star, in addition to the fact that they captured the traces of Du Cao and others at that time, another reason is that they believe that the development potential of Blue Star civilization is very high. That's why the Liang civilization is willing to come and spread their ideas. However, the final result is that the high-level combat power of the Liang civilization and the current guardian of Blue Star, the Great Sage, who has the top-level combat power of the 8th-level Peak Beast, fought each other to a loss. Du Cao will not allow any civilization to interfere with the development of Blue Star civilization. He regards himself as the guardian of Blue Star, but in fact, anyone with a discerning eye can see his selfish motives. With the continuous development of Blue Star, it is bound to change Blue Star civilization into a second inner civilization because of the existence of Du Cao and others. Stop. When Mo Chen was about to arrive at the Liang civilization, several gods of the Liang civilization surrounded him. Mo Chen did not hide his tracks, so the Liang civilization easily found him. Who are you? What are you doing in the Liang civilization? Mo Chen looked around at the people surrounding him. Judging from the energy fluctuations of these people, they should all be just the 1st generation of divine bodies. Let Pan Zhen come to see me. Mo Chen released the powerful energy in his body, telling them that he had the strength to meet with the top leaders of the Liang civilization. Please wait. Although Mo Chen's words did not show any respect to the top leaders of the Liang civilization, the strength he showed made the soldiers of the Liang civilization present dare not neglect it. An unknown powerful divine body? And he specifically asked for me. After hearing the report, Pan Zhen thought for a while. Humphrey. In that case, let me go and meet him in person. Pan Zhen went to the place where Mo Chen was. He's coming. Mo Chen raised his head and looked not far away. The divine body that uses the energy driven by stars emits terrible energy all the time. This energy is generally not felt, but it can be felt very clearly from the dark plane. Who are you? Pan Zhen was very solemn. He had already felt the energy fluctuations of Mo Chen through the dark plane. This was a genuine 4th-generation divine body. It was impossible for Pan Zhen not to be nervous about an unknown 4th-generation divine body who came uninvited. Ashura God, Mo Chen directly explained his identity. Hearing this name, Pan Zhen's pupils shrank. The name of Ashura God has been known to all the 8th and 9th level civilizations in the universe in recent years. The reason for knowing it is because this Ashura God united with the demon civilization to destroy the Samton civilization, which is also a 9th level civilization. And the most important point is that Samton is not a 9th level civilization of some Mughals. They have 2 9th level combat forces, which can also be ranked in the upper middle among all 9th level civilizations. The Liang civilization is not afraid of many 9th level civilizations in the universe. In addition to their own strong strength, it is also related to their own concept of stability. However, for the existence of Shura God, who destroyed a 9th level civilization, Pan Zhen was not so confident. Wouldn't you like to invite me to sit for a while? Mo Chen spoke again. Sorry. I was distracted just now. Please. Pan Zhen led the way for Mo Chen in front, but at the same time he was also contacting Di Han Kun, the real person in charge of the Liang civilization. You people of the Liang civilization are really hard-working. Mo Chen saw those people working hard in the fields on Liang Star. He knew that only the people of Liang civilization in the universe, as an 8th level civilization, would let their people personally engage in farming. This is to let them feel the difficulty of life, so that they will not be proud and indulgent because of the strength of Liang civilization. Let them feel happy in the process of working to harvest, and let them realize the importance of stability. Pan Zhen said so. What is the purpose of your visit this time? After arriving at the palace, Pan Zhen said straight to the point. Although on the surface, the current leader of the Liang civilization is the emperor's daughter Reina, but everyone knows that the regent King Pan Zhen is the real leader of the Liang civilization during Emperor Han Kun's recuperation. Facing a 9th level combat power, Pan Zhen did not let Reina out because the other party is not mature enough now. I have discussed with Du Cao that we will build a large space wormhole on Blue Star and let the army of our civilization come here through this space wormhole. What do you want to do? War. We will not agree. Pan Zhen said righteously. We will share some of our gains with your Liang civilization. Mo Chen was quite calm. This is not a problem of resources. It's a problem of ideas and beliefs. What you are pursuing is stability. As long as our war does not affect your stability, won't there be no problem? Moreover, hasn't your Liang civilization always been indifferent to these things? The reason I came here is only because Blue Star is now under your sight, and all my actions will be known to you, so I came to negotiate. Holy Keshaw has visited many 9th level civilizations. I'm sure you know about this. Pan Zhen found it difficult to understand the other party's purpose in doing such a thing. They joined forces with the demon civilization to destroy a 9th level civilization, which must have attracted the attention of Holy Keshaw. Now they are expanding, and it won't be long before they will be attacked by the angel civilization. We are not afraid of Holy Keshaw, nor are we afraid of fighting the angel civilization head-on. All I need is for you to keep silent about what happened here. I also know that your Liang civilization is actually very short of resources, but because of your special fighting power, every war will be a great loss to your civilization. This has led to your civilization not being able to gain much in the past war of plundering resources and dividing territory. But in fact, if you have sufficient energy supplies, you can quickly treat the sequelae of driving star energy after each battle, and the little resources you have are almost all used to fill your half-dead Liang star. This universe has erupted in a war for resource plunder in the past. This war occurred after the Second Form War, because in that war, many old triangular and beast body-top civilizations were destroyed, and new Shen body-top civilizations continued to appear. So there were many disputes over resources. The reason why Norris civilization and Samton civilization moved to the edge of the universe is because they were 9-level civilizations that were born after that war. Promise him. Di Hong Kun's voice appeared in Pan Zhen's mind. We can promise you, but I'm afraid we have to have a good talk about the allocation of resources. Of course. In the end, Mo Chen will pay 12% of the resources obtained from the expansion in this area to shut up the mouth of the Liang civilization. It must be said that the old ones are still the best. Mo Chen originally planned to pay only 10%, but after negotiating with Pan Zhen, he paid 12%. Even if Mo Chen has experience in his previous life, he is only 1,000 years old. Compared with Pan Zhen and others, he is still slightly inferior. He is very smart. If they expand here, if they lose the war with the angel civilization, they can establish a second base here. If they draw or even win, then they will become the only 9th level civilization that can continue to plunder resources in the future until the appearance of the Relia database. After Mo Chen left, Di Hong Kun's voice appeared in Pan Zhen's mind again. Then should we get involved at that time? Just wait and see. Chapter 178 The sudden betrayal of the player forces. Since Du Cao and his team are short of people and resources, it will take a long time to build a space wormhole. Nowadays, the Shura Empire is recruiting all player civilizations at full speed. After the recruitment is completed, it will face the battle with the angel civilization, so there is no way to spare time to go to Blue Star in a short time. So Mo Chen sent Yan over. The galaxy-powered Xialan technology used its own core ability to create the solar system Black Great Wall and engineering, Yan now has a stronger ability than the galaxy-powered Xiaolun when he created this project. She can not only complete the creation of this space wormhole, but also serve as a warning to the Liang civilization to abide by its promise. However, since all of Yan's abilities are based on instinct at present, if she wants to build such a delicate project as a space wormhole, she still needs to study space. Yan has learned this knowledge in the past, although she has forgotten it now. She still has an impression, so she is still very fast to learn it again now. But even so, if you want to build a space wormhole at such a long distance, you need to master at least level 7 space technology, which will take 2 or 3 years to learn. So Chen directly threw Yan to the Shura Royal Academy and let her study with fate. The Shura Empire has now unlocked the 6th level space technology. When Yan learns the 6th level space technology, he will send Yan to the Norris civilization for her to continue studying. My king, something happened during our acceptance process. A group of civilizations suddenly attacked us while we were signing the treaty on expanding the Lord. They have a special virus program in their hands, and with this virus program, they took away our warships. It seems that they want to take advantage of our current army to block those escaping civilizations on the periphery, so that we will be attacked from all sides. Zhao woke up Chen, who was meditating to enhance the light particle energy life form in his body. Chen frowned, not to say that the other party really put the Shura Empire in a situation of being attacked from all sides. It's because at this juncture, this group of players made such a wave of things, which would greatly affect the stability of the Shura Empire's current players. If it cannot be resolved quickly and effectively, even those players who have signed the treaty and become expansion lords of the Shura Empire may rebel. If such a thing really happens, it will greatly affect Chen's future plans for the war with the Angel Civilization. Notify Marshal Yun Nuo to mobilize 20 million soldiers and capture and kill all these rebels within half a month. My king, their traces have disappeared. There should be expansion lords who have surrendered to us and are covering for them. Not long after, Zhao's voice sounded again. Let Xingfeng come. Yes. Not long after, Xingfeng arrived at Chen's bedroom. Zhao should have told you everything. Yes. Okay. I want you to lead 3 million Royal Guards warships there. I allow you to use any means. All the expansion lords who block your exploration can be killed on the spot, but I want you to find their traces before Marshal Yunwo's army arrives. Can you do it? Chen stared at Xingfeng. This was a test he gave him. If he completed it, he would promote Xingfeng and let him grow better. If not, he would demote Xingfeng. Chen naturally couldn't put all his hopes on Xingfeng. Chen also prepared 2 insurance measures. Xingfeng did become the first general under Chen in his previous life, but his growth trajectory has changed in this life. Whether he can still have the original ability is still unknown. Yes. Okay, go. Chen nodded. After Xingfeng left, Chen contacted Yunfeng again. Chen, nearly 50,000 players chose to rebel when signing the Expansion Lord Treaty. They attacked my troops and cracked the protection measures of my space battleships through an unknown virus program, taking nearly 1 million space battleships for themselves. These are their names. I want you to use all the resources that the Shura Empire Alliance has now to find their traces for me and help them hide the traces of those players. Yunfeng looked at the names on it and sighed. This group of people was the one who wanted to win him over, although he did not agree to them in the end. He did not tell Chen about their plan after all. He still had ambitions in his heart, so he did not tell Chen about this matter in the end. Yunfeng, okay, I will try my best. Although Yunfeng did not tell Chen about this matter, he would still do his best to help Chen find the traces of this group of people. Yinling, mobilize 50% of your computing power. I need you to help me find the traces of these people's army. After communicating with Yunfeng, Chen went to the 9th level computer Yinling of the Norris Civilization. No matter what means those guys have, they can't completely hide their traces under the data invasion of the 9th level computer. Triple search. Unless the opponent's hiding ability has reached the 9th level, it will inevitably be discovered. It's really a troubled time. Chen sighed and continued his previous meditation. The light particle life form in his body was successfully upgraded by contacting the higher grade light particle life form cultivated by the Shura Royal Research Institute not long ago, and now it can reach the level of the 6th level light particle life form. If Chen develops the light particle life form to the 6th level before the battle with the angel civilization and transforms it into light life, perhaps he can confront the Holy Keshaw head-on with his strength. At this time, the Holy Keshaw successfully stopped the 9th level civilization that was plundering, and then only the 8th level civilizations were left, and she herself needed a long time to recover from her physical injuries. Morgana, when this is over, I will definitely reorganize the angel army and completely destroy your demon civilization. Chapter 179 The Birth of the Imperial Investigation Bureau. Lars, I must remind you that the people from the Shura Empire Alliance have just come to talk to me. You need to manage your subordinates well to prevent them from letting the cat out of the bag. Also, the Shura Empire has sent an army of 2 million space battleships to conduct a forced search among the players recently. If you refuse, they will directly attack. It won't be long before they search us. You'd better be prepared. Good is one of the players who helped Trussell's Player Resistance Alliance hide their tracks. He is also a senior member of the Player Resistance Alliance. The Player Resistance Alliance consists of 3 parts, namely the rebels, the cover personnel, and the old expansion lords who have been instigated to rebel. Don't worry, it's useless even if they come to search. They can't imagine that we have now entered the core area of the Shura Empire. Lars laughed wildly. Their plan consists of 3 parts. The first part is to rebel and seize a batch of Shura Empire space battleships through the virus program in their hands. The second part is to hide in the territory of their cover personnel. The third part is to reach the territories of the old expansion lords they instigated. After deceiving the Shura Empire's search and encirclement troops, they will directly send troops to the main star of the Shura Empire, and this is why Yinling did not find their traces even if he used 50% of his computing power. My lord, you have also checked, and there are indeed no rebels in my territory. Those guys are probably running away now. Good said charmingly beside Xing Feng. Xing Feng did not look back at Good. He frowned and began to think about where the rebels went. Now is the 5th day after he accepted the mission. Through the space wormhole device of the Shura Empire, he and his army took 1 day to complete the assembly and reach the destination. In order to prevent the other party from escaping from his search range during this day and the subsequent search process, Xing Feng expanded the original search range tenfold. Anyway, he brought a force of 3 million space battleships, and even if it was expanded tenfold, there were still sufficient troops to carry out the search. Moreover, he started the search at the outermost part of the search area he had circled. When he arrived at Good, he was already in the innermost part of the search circle. Theoretically, if the enemy's army was here, it would have been discovered by now. Yunyuo's army needed supplies, so it would take about 5 days to reach this area. The remaining 5 days were indeed enough for him to conduct another round of search and capture, but if he didn't find anything in the first round, the probability of finding it in the second round was not high. After leaving Good's territory, Xing Feng began to think about what he had missed. He began to recall carefully what happened during the search and capture process these days. On the second day of the search and capture, they encountered an attack from a small army, so Xing Feng sent troops to besiege this army, but this army had an extremely fast marching speed and was familiar with the terrain. They passed through the asteroid belt many times to avoid the pursuit of his army. In the end, it took a whole day for this army to be caught up, and after being caught up, this army immediately launched a crazy self-destructive attack. On the 3rd day of the search, the same thing happened, and it did not appear again on the 4th and 5th days. That is to say, there is a great probability that the other party left the search area he had circled during these 2 days. Thinking of this, Xing Feng immediately began to check whether there was any blockade loophole in the pursuit during these 2 days. In the end, he did find on the detection recorder of the troops that on the 3rd day, in order to pursue, a blockade force in an area had a very short blockade signal loophole in order to assist the pursuit force. After that, Xingfeng contacted Zhao again and called up the space fluctuation map at that time and location. It turned out that there was indeed a short-term high space index at that location. Such a high space index is extremely common in the universe, but it must not be accidental when it appears at such a time and place. Xingfeng immediately mobilized the troops and conducted a netcasting search in that direction, and all the Expansion Lord's troops and the Shura Empire garrison troops in that direction were mobilized. But after 3 consecutive days of intensive searches, they still did not find any trace of the rebels. Yun Feng and Yin Ling were also very troubled by the situation here. Unlike Xingfeng, they did not need to accept any tests, so they enjoyed all the information shared by the 3 parties. But even so, they still did not find any traces of the rebels. After learning this, Mo Chen's mood was also very heavy. He thought it was a very easy thing, but he did not expect it to develop like this in the end. Mo Chen had to let Yin Ling mobilize all his computing power, but because the territory of the Shura Empire is too large now, if he wanted to conduct a detailed data search in the last few days, he could only cover 1/16 of the territory of the Shura Empire. No, Xingfeng overturned all the speculations in his mind. These guys have only this level of technology. Even if they really have mastered some special cosmic wonders, it is impossible that there are no clues. There must be some places that I missed. Xingfeng was a little crazy at this time. He really didn't want to fail in such an important task for the first time he was appointed. We will definitely find clues. Xingfeng once again began to search for all the information he had, but suddenly, he noticed a data file that he had placed outside the searched data. That was the registration information returned by the army of the old expansion lords of the Shura Empire in this search area. These expansion lords were the earliest batch of the Shura Empire. Their territories were generally in the core area of the Shura Empire today. They had never caused any trouble, so the officials of the Shura Empire trusted them very much. Moreover, there were no problems in the registration information, so Xingfeng did not pay special attention to it. Now, after seeing this registration information, he did not think that there was anything wrong with the information. Instead, Xingfeng suddenly realized that the reason why these rebels rebelled was nothing more than that they thought that the Shura Empire's army was now resisting the invading civilizations on the periphery, and the internal emptiness could be taken advantage of to attack. In this case, their goal was definitely not to hide on the periphery, but to attack the Shura main star, so they would definitely try every means to go to the Shura main star. In order to appease the emotions of the expansion lords, the Shura Empire told them about the existence of the 20 million troops and 3 million search forces. In other words, if the leader of this rebel army had a little bit of brains, he would know that the Shura Empire sent out such an army at the time when the defense of Shura main star was the weakest. If they did not rush through the space wormhole, it would be impossible for them to reach Shura main star at this time, so they would definitely think of other ways. And those old expansion lords are their best choice, because these expansion lords not only have their territories on the edge of Shura main star, but also because of their long-term military relationship. They can use the space wormhole device exclusive to the Shura Empire. In other words, this rebel army only needs to instigate a few old expansion lords and let their troops blend into the army of the expansion lords, and they can successfully reach the core area of the Shura Empire. As for their equipment in the Shura Empire warships they robbed, they can easily solve them with some space-type cosmic wonders in their hands. After thinking about this, and recalling the various abnormal situations that occurred on the second and third days of the search, it is very likely that the rebels misled them. Xingfeng made a prompt decision and immediately asked Mo Chen for the order to search the territories of the lords who started fighting on the registration list. After Mo Chen knew Xingfeng's application, he immediately realized that there was a problem with his. Yin Ling's search direction was designated by Mo Chen, and Yun Feng's previous thinking direction. Mo Chen immediately asked Yin Ling to search the data of the territories of the old expansion lords that appeared in the registration form, and soon found that there were abnormal data in the territories of several players. So through Xingfeng's investigation and the subsequent siege by Yun Nuo's army, this rebel army was completely wiped out before it was prevented. And this time, The only remaining voices of resistance to the Shura Empire among the players disappeared completely. Chen directly awarded Xingfeng the rank of general, but Xingfeng no longer took charge of the Imperial Guards, and did not obtain the qualification to create a legion. Instead, he was appointed by Chen as the director of the Imperial Investigation Bureau, responsible for supervising all the expansion lords and officials in the Shura Empire. Every year, he enjoys 5% of the military expenditure of the Shura Empire. After obtaining this part of the resources, all management and expenses are arranged by Xingfeng. At the same time, as long as Xingfeng needs it, he can't transfer any officer of his rank from all the legions of the Shura Empire, whose rank cannot be higher than that of Major General. Of course, this transfer can only be made once every 3 years. Chen intends to train Xingfeng to be a person who is above 10,000 people. In this mission, he has demonstrated his potential and ability. The reason why Chen wants to do this is that as the power of the Shura Empire continues to grow, various factions have emerged among the army and officials of the Shura Empire. Although Chen does not like the emergence of this situation, it is inevitable. Even if the management is strict, such factions will definitely be born, so Chen's subordinates must have a person in force who can curb this trend and can compete with all factions. Xingfeng is the person chosen by Chen, and the Imperial Investigation Bureau is the force that Chen wants to cultivate. I hope you won't let me down, Xingfeng. Chapter 180 Event Exchange. After the establishment of the Imperial Investigation Bureau, Xingfeng quickly established a firm foothold in the empire through the political convenience and military funding given to him by Chen. He set up 4 departments in the Imperial Investigation Bureau. The first department is the Supervision Department, whose main responsibility is to supervise the officials and officers of the empire. The second department is the Inspection Department, which is responsible for supervising the expansion lords to implement the war missions issued by the Shura Empire, and at the same time ensuring that they have no thoughts of rebellion or whether they have any connection with civilizations or organizations hostile to the Shura Empire. The third department is the Intelligence Department, which is responsible for sending personnel to other civilizations to obtain intelligence or secrets. The fourth department is the Investigation Department, which is also the most important department of the Imperial Investigation Bureau. It is responsible for investigating and handling various incidents that occurred in the Shura Empire. After 2.5 years, when the Star Domain invasion activity ended, the entire Investigation Bureau had more than 4 million members and 400,000 space battleships. Although the number is not large, each one is a level 6 space battleship. The establishment of the Imperial Investigation Bureau actually encountered some resistance. After all, the establishment of this Investigation Bureau actually violated the interests of many officials in the empire. However, because Chen gave the Investigation Bureau a green light all the way, under Chen's absolute authority, those officials, no matter how dissatisfied they were, could not take any substantial blocking measures. The Shura Empire has only been developed for 100 years, but various factions have been intertwined throughout the empire. Take the army as an example. When everyone fought together before, you are good, I am good, and everyone is good. But now with the appointment of several marshals, each marshal has become a faction in the army, and there will inevitably be competition between them. It's just that there is no interest contact between the two sides, so everything is fine. However, civil officials are different. There are various departments in the Shura Empire. Civil officials are not like officers. Officers are promoted based on military merits, while civil officials are promoted based on political achievements and work experience. This leads to a lot of room for operation in the promotion of civil officials, and there are huge conflicts of interest between factions. As the king of a cosmic empire, Chen wants to continuously improve his strength and needs to constantly learn new scientific and technological knowledge so that he can use them skillfully. Therefore, he will not be particularly meticulous in the management of the entire empire on weekdays. Now with the birth of Xingfeng's Imperial Investigation Bureau, Chen can study and research with peace of mind. At the same time, the Star Domain invasion event has now ended. The event mall has also been opened. Due to the war that will come soon, Chen has invested all his points in the expansion of combat power this time. Chen now has 9 trillion points. In the second half of the event, more and more civilizations appear here, which also greatly increases the points that Chen can gain, which is 2.5 times more than the points obtained in the first half. Chen waved his hand and bought 10 third-generation divine body genes, spending a total of 1 trillion points. He equipped each of the 9 marshals and Xingfeng with one, let them all become third-generation divine bodies smoothly. Then he spent another 100 billion points to equip each general with the second-generation divine body gene. The remaining points were exchanged by Chen for 50 level 8 space battleships, 2 for each marshal, 1 for each general, and 5 for Chen's own guard corps. In addition, he also exchanged 10 level 8 space war aircraft carriers. In this war, aircraft carriers are different from war fortresses. The main function of war fortresses is fire suppression. The role of war aircraft carriers is more diversified. They can provide more accurate data analysis for the entire battlefield, provide energy shield enhancement for warships on their own battlefield, have powerful space transmission capabilities, and can carry space battleships to suddenly appear on a certain battlefield. If war fortresses are the firepower core of an army in war, then war aircraft carriers are the tactical core of an army. In terms of firepower, the Shura Empire now has 30 Tancheng-type supergiant war fortresses. Although these supergiant war fortresses are limited by the level of science and technology, the energy level of the attack released is still level 7. However, the firepower suppression they can provide is far superior to that of ordinary war fortresses of the same level, and with the addition of a large number of top-level resources from Chen, these supergiant war fortresses are already comparable to top-level 8th-level war fortresses in terms of their own defense. This round of exchange directly exhausted all the points in Chen's hands. However, it made the comprehensive strength of the Shura Empire grow exponentially. The current Shura Empire is not considered to be a 9th-level combat power, and it can completely fight against 5 or 6 9th-level civilizations like the Norse civilization on its own. Queen Morgana, the chaos in the universe has ended, and the army of the Angel civilization will probably arrive in a few years. I think we should now prepare for the upcoming war. Chapter 181 The Arrival of Holy Keshaw. Hizai, I need your help. In a garden full of life, Holy Keshaw said to Hizai, who was sitting next to her in a white dress. I said I would not participate in the war between you and Liang Bing. Hizai fiddled with the small flower at her hand. You know that she and the Norse civilization teamed up to destroy the Samton civilization. It's just one more Norse civilization, which is probably not a problem for you. Hizai shook his head. With just these 2 civilizations, if that sure god is just an ordinary 4th-generation god body, he can't destroy the Samton civilization in an instant. Either there are other 9th-level combat forces hidden behind them, or this Shuri god has extraordinary combat power. Holy Keshaw's voice was solemn. The Angel civilization has only 2 9th-level combat forces on the surface, that is, Holy Keshaw and Tenji King Hizai. Holy Keshaw has the strength to fight against 4 ordinary 9th-level combat forces on his own, while Hizai can fight against 3 9th-level combat forces on his own. Both of them are very powerful level 9 combat forces. Holy Keshaw ranks first among all level 9 combat forces, and Hizai ranks third. If the 2 of them fight together, they can easily defeat any level 9 civilization in the known universe, but if only Holy Keshaw is alone, it will cost a lot to defeat a level 9 civilization alliance that can instantly destroy the Samton civilization. Alas, I can help you, but I can only help you share a level 9 combat force, and the angels of the Mellow Heaven will not participate in this war. Hizai stood up from the ground. It's rare for you to come here. It just so happens that I just collected a batch of honey. Come and taste it. You are kidding. Morgana's voice trembled a little. For this war, Chen mobilized a full 5 billion space battleships. As the Shura Empire completely controlled the entire sphere of influence owned by the player civilization, the Shura Empire's army quadrupled. All the marshals and generals of the Shura Empire have now arrived. and all the level 8 combat forces have also been mobilized. 10 third-generation divine bodies, 50 level 8 space battleships, 10 level 8 war aircraft carriers, and 30 level 7 supergiant war fortresses with the combat power of level 8 war fortresses, and 2 Cybertron mechanical life forms that have evolved to the level of third-generation divine bodies. Moreover, Morgana also knew that the Norse civilization is now a civilization under their Shura Empire. Therefore, the level 9 and level 8 combat power of the Norse civilization should also be counted in the military power of the Shura Empire. It can be said that the current Shura Empire is not inferior to the top 5 level 9 civilizations in the known universe. However, Morgana only had some problems at the beginning. Later, she returned to normal. Although the strength of the Shura Empire made her extremely wary, it was absolutely impossible to say that she was afraid. After all, Morgana's combat power is not weak at all. The demon civilization has been chased away only because the civilization that is against them is the angel civilization. As the only fourth-generation space-type divine body in the known universe, unless she is attacked by surprise or in a head-on battle, it is almost impossible for her to be killed by any 9th-level combat power in the known universe. Even the probability that Holy Kesha can kill her is no more than 2%. Of course, she can be so confident now because she has not personally experienced the terrible power of the Void Divine Body. They are coming soon. Chen mobilized the light particle life energy in his body. Although he has been trying to make the light particle life energy in his body stronger over the years, in the end, he still failed to reach the 6th level. If it reaches the 6th level, relying on the fusion of light particles and life energy in other soldiers, the light particle life energy in his body can reach the 8th level. Through the improvement of the Super Combat Power Enhancement card, the level of this light particle life energy can reach the 9th level. With the 4th generation Divine Body gene plus the 9th level light particle life energy, Chen can completely have a combat power that is not inferior to Holy Kesha, but it is definitely not possible now. If we want to judge Chen's current strength through a comparison, he is roughly equivalent to 1.3 Morgana, 1.1 Yen. After all, Yen cannot skillfully control the power of the Void Body now, 0.9 Hizai, and 0.7 Holy Kesha. The reason why we know that the troops of the Angel Civilization are about to arrive is that this time the Angel Civilization has sent a large number of troops, including the troops of affiliated civilizations. Such a large-scale army, even if it is space transferred through a space wormhole, it is difficult not to be discovered by other civilizations. So the intelligence dealer on the planet Galbia sold the location of the Angel Civilization army to Chen. So Chen brought the army of the Shura Empire and the armies of the Norse Civilization and the Demon Civilization to wait here. You should also prepare well. If you want to fully display your spatial ability, I'm afraid you still need to create enough space markers nearby. Chen closed his eyes and sat cross-legged on the spot and said, "Leave this matter to my demon babies. As for you, are you sure you can fight against Holy Kesha?" Although I don't want to admit it, the strength of that bitch Kesha is indeed terrible. Hizai has the huge resources of the Angel Civilization, and with her own technology, her current combat power is probably higher than mine. Although we have 4 level 9 combat forces here, the level 9 combat robot of the Norse Civilization is just a filler in front of Holy Kesha. There are only 3 of us who can really play a combat role. No need to say, I am sure. Chen interrupted Morgana with a dark face. He didn't expect this guy to talk so much. Nagusa's talkativeness is likely to be passed on from this guy. If you are really worried, make more preparations while there is still time. Chen ordered him to leave. Chen would not be like this at ordinary times, but the light particle life energy needs to be synchronized with the host spirit to release the most powerful combat power. The current light particle life energy has not reached level 6, and this kind of mental synchronization has not been able to be stabilized. Now that the war is approaching, he must constantly adjust his state so as to exert his strongest combat power during the war. 5 days later, the monitoring devices of the Norse Civilization and the Demon Civilization simultaneously detected abnormal signals. All troops, get ready. The Angel Civilization is coming. Chapter 182 Super Flame Energy Impact. The Silver-White Skyblade warships have always been the weapon of the Angel Civilization to conquer the universe. Each Skyblade warship is equivalent to an 8th-level space battleship. At the same time, each Skyblade warship will have a 3rd-generation God-level senior guardian angel. In the nearly 10,000 years of wars of the Angel Civilization, there were only 6 battles in which more than 10 Skyblade warships were sent, and 4 of them were against the Demon Civilization, and there was not even a single battle in which more than 30 ships were sent. But now, the Angel Civilization has sent a full 56 Skyblade warships for this war. This also shows that there are at least 56 3rd-generation God-level angels in the Angel Legion. In addition to the other scattered 8th-level combat forces of the Angel Legion, the total 8th-level combat forces of the Angel Legion may even be higher than that of Chen. In addition to the 8th-level combat forces, the quality of the Angel Civilization is also better than that of the Shura Empire in terms of basic combat forces, but in terms of quantity, the Shura Empire crushes the Angel Legion. So the basic combat forces of both sides are basically equal. Kesha, you bitch. I didn't expect you to come. You chased me for so long but couldn't kill me. Do you think you can succeed this time? I tell you, I will beat you to a pulp today. The projection released by Morgana was directly cut off by Holy Kesha. God Shura, I am quite curious about who you are and whether Norris Civilization has such an army. Holy Kesha was too lazy to listen to Morgana's nonsense. She had heard those meaningless trash talk countless times. Chen did not speak, nor did he stand up to face Holy Kesha, because Chen knew that as long as he stood up now, the war between the 9 levels would start immediately. The later this war entered the 9-level melee, the more advantageous it would be for the Shura Alliance. Humphrey, don't you dare to stand up? Kesha sneered. Launch an attack, Kesha ordered. Since the other party had no intention of talking to her, then let's start the war directly. The energy shield is activated at maximum power. The Tanchang Supergiant War Fortress launches a high-intensity fire attack on the enemy's 10 Skyblade warships in the first place. Chen immediately ordered after seeing the Angel Legion advancing. Advance in a cone. Since Holy Kesha and Chen did not fight together, the command of the armies of both sides was now in their hands. So the 2 top leaders of both sides started a tactical game. Chen frowned and looked at the Angel Legion stabbing forward like a sword. The Skyblade warships of the Angel Legion seemed to have a special bonus method. With the energy assistance of the warships behind, the Skyblade warship at the tip of the sword not only had an amazing energy shield strength, but also released an extremely terrifying energy shock. They are fewer in number than us, but far stronger in quality. Their purpose is to cut the battlefield, but it is also a good opportunity for us to completely surround them. The whole army is separated from the middle. If they want to come, then they are welcome to come. Chen waved his hand and left a gap in the middle of the Shura Empire's army. Oh, you know you can't resist head-on, so you decided to let us in to encircle them? Then let's see. Holy Kesha sneered. The Angel army penetrated into the interior of the Shura Empire's army, and the Shura Empire's army immediately used this opportunity to continue to encircle the Angel Civilization. Concentrate fire in the direction of the Angel Civilization army. All angels begin to prepare to absorb energy for the flaming sword, and all warships use mirror shields. The top leaders of both sides gave orders at the same time. Mirror shield, level 8 branch technology, which uses the mirror reflection principle to resist the energy attack released by the enemy, and at the same time, uses the mirror refraction principle to guide part of the energy into the interior. The Angel Civilization's tactics are to import this part of the energy to allow the flame sword to quickly store energy, and then separate the mirror shield, and through the method of refraction and energy concentration, combine the energy released by a large number of flame swords into one, releasing an extremely powerful flame impact. Something is wrong. Chen keenly felt the abnormality of the Angel Legion, because under the strong attack of this minute, the Angel Civilization did not launch any counterattack. Chen did not think that his firepower could completely suppress the Angel Civilization. After all, the tactics used by the Holy Kesha were not seen by Chen in his previous life. After all, The proud angel civilization in the previous life had not carried out large-scale legion operations in the Chiwu star system until Keshaw's fall. All warships, immediately strengthen the energy shields of the entire army. All warships, immediately use the Space Distortion Shield. Space Distortion Shield. The Shura Empire currently has a 7th level shield, which twists the space to redirect the energy impact that hits it, but the energy that can be transferred is still limited. After all, the warships on the Shura Alliance side began to protect themselves. They were suddenly hit by a terrible flame impact from the direction of the angel civilization. Even the 4th generation divine body could not easily resist this intensity of flame impact. Although the space distortion shield removed part of the flame energy, for such a strong flame energy impact, the part that the space distortion shield could transfer did not even exceed 10% of the total amount. And even with the energy shield strengthened by the warship, facing the remaining 90% of the flame energy impact, it was like a piece of paper and was torn in an instant. Bang! Chen stood up from his seat. He still underestimated the angel civilization. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 183 3 Battlefields. The Angel Civilization released a total of 12 Super Flame Energy Shocks. These 12 Super Flame Energy Shocks caused the Shura Empire's army to lose more than 2 million space battleships. Such a loss is a huge loss even for the Shura Empire, which is a big country. But at this moment, the Demon Civilization's army took advantage of the moment when the Angel Civilization lifted its defense state and came to the side of the Angel army through space teleportation, and the two sides immediately started a melee. This idiot, Chen couldn't help but curse. The advantage of the Shura Empire's army in frontal combat lies in firepower attack. Although taking this opportunity to engage in close combat, there is nothing wrong in normal times. But now, because the Demon Civilization is also caught in the middle, the Shura Empire's army will inevitably be cautious and give up its own legion firepower advantage. I know what you are thinking, but you can't use the Angel Civilization's tactics to fight against it through peripheral firepower. Morgana's voice was transmitted to Chen's mind through the dark signal. Morgana was not a brainless person. After knowing the general combat power of the Shura Empire army, she also knew that doing so would make the Shura Empire army lose its advantage. However, in order to crack the tactics of the Angel Civilization, they must sneak in and fight them in close combat. This is the experience of the Demon Civilization in fighting the Angel Civilization for many years. Is that so? Chen sighed. According to analysis, the winning rate of our army in close combat with the Angel Civilization army does not exceed 21%. Yinling's voice sounded in Chen's mind. Then there is no other way. The whole army presses forward and starts close combat. Chen had no choice but to give such an order, and the progress meant that the direct confrontation between the 8th and 9th levels would begin. Chen walked out of his warship. He looked up in the direction of the Angel Legion, but found that Holy Keshaw was also looking at him. However, another person soon came out beside Holy Keshaw, the king of Tanji. He's Morgana, you and Tanzu team up to deal with Hexi. Yan, I need you to deal with those 3rd-generation divine bodies of the Angel Civilization. I will deal with Holy Keshaw personally. Tanzu is the 9th-level combat robot of the Norris Civilization. The 3rd-generation divine body level combat power of the Angel Civilization will be a great threat to the Shura Empire in close combat, and Yan's void ability is the best way to deal with them. There are 3 battlefields with 9th-level combat power, 1 superior, 1 inferior, and 1 of equal level. The final decision is to see which side has the advantage and can deal with its opponent first. Hexi took the lead and rushed straight to Chen, but just as she rushed out, Morgana suddenly appeared beside her and fought with her with Tanzu. Seeing this scene, Holy Keshaw frowned slightly, and Silver Wing appeared behind her, wanting to go to support Hexi. But a beam of light suddenly shot towards her, and Holy Keshaw blocked the attack with Silver Wing. Your opponent is me. Chen appeared between Holy Keshaw and Hexy and others. Behind Holy Keshaw, one after another, high-level guard angels of the third-generation divine body level were ready for battle. "You actually want to face me alone?" Holy Keshaw sneered. "Leave this person to me. You go and destroy their 8th-level warships," Holy Keshaw said to the high-level guard angels behind her. Weapons appeared behind Holy Keshaw. To deal with Shura God, a 4th-generation divine body whose strength was unknown, Holy Keshaw did not dare to be arrogant and only used silver wings to fight. However, just when those high-level angels had just left Keshaw's side, they suddenly felt a strong sense of oppression. Yan appeared in front of them wearing a dark blue armor covering his whole body. The reason why he wore dark blue mechanical armor was because Chen was worried that Yan's identity would be recognized by the angel civilization and then an accident would occur. "What is this?" Holy Keshaw looked at Yan with a very ugly face. "We dare to confront your angel civilization head-on, so we must not be completely unprepared," Chen said lightly. For him, it would be better if he could delay time by talking with Holy Keshaw. "Stop talking nonsense." Holy Keshaw ordered the weapons behind her to attack Chen, while she herself rushed towards Yan with her silver wings. "Humphrey, it's not that easy to leave." A weapon similar to a spider appeared behind Chen. "Space Poison Spider." This is the horror of the Super Combat Power Upgrade card. Chen can create a variety of level 8 weapons: Space Type, Void Type, Light Energy Type, Star Drive Type. These level 8 technologies are not difficult to obtain for the Norris civilization. The Super Combat Power Upgrade card can upgrade all these level 8 weapons to level 9 weapons. The Space Poison Spider of this level 8 weapon was forcibly upgraded to the level of level 9, thus temporarily controlling the weapons released by Holy Keshaw. But it was in this brief moment that Chen successfully got rid of the weapons sent by Holy Keshaw to contain him. "You are a bit unexpected." Holy Keshaw's silver wings blocked the attack launched by Chen from behind her. "I won't let you disturb her." Chen held a level 9 light energy sword blessed by the life energy of light particles in one hand, and a level 9 god-killing sword strengthened by Chen's god-killing gene in the other, and rushed towards Holy Keshaw. "What a tough guy." Holy Keshaw also felt the energy contained in the two weapons. In desperation, Holy Keshaw could only choose to defeat Chen first. Morgana's individual combat power is certainly not as good as his eyes, but the gap between the two sides is not particularly large. With the help of Danzu, the two sides fought back and forth, evenly matched. "I didn't expect that you, a 10,000-year-old house girl, would really jump out." "You are still the same, like to say these words that irritate others." "Aren't I telling the truth? I didn't intend to fight you, but now it seems that it's not possible without a winner." Unlike the battlefields on both sides, Yan's side was extremely quiet. Yan's void engine was intact, but she didn't know enough about the void, so after suppressing these third-generation divine bodies, she couldn't move for a while. She could only hide herself in the semi-void plane to prevent herself from being attacked by others. In the process, she used the void ability to kill those third-generation divine bodies. Everything happened as Chen planned. However, because Chen failed to master the 6th-level light particle life energy, and the premature start of this 9th-level melee brought a lot of variables to the outcome of this war. Chapter 184, Changing Tactics. "We can't fight like this anymore." After Chen left, Yun Nuo, the commander-in-chief of the Shura Empire in this war, frowned. After the two sides engaged in a close-range melee, the divine bodies of the angel civilization caused huge damage to the Shura Empire's space battleships. If they continue to fight like this, the Shura Empire's army will inevitably be defeated. Yun Nuo will not put all his hopes on the battlefield with level 9 combat power. The divine bodies of the angel civilization have extremely rich experience in space combat. Each team even has the ability to connect energy with each other and strengthen themselves. We must destroy their ability and let all of their angels fall into the situation of fighting on their own. After thinking for a while, Yun Nuo contacted the Demon Queen. "Hello, Mr. Icho." Some of the third-generation divine bodies of the demon civilization of the Shura Empire did not fight. This group of powerful combat forces needs to enter the battlefield at a critical moment. Is there anything? I want to ask if your demon civilization has the means to cut the space of the entire battlefield? After hearing this, Acho turned his eyes to the technicians beside him. This is very difficult. It requires extremely high computing power. Our computers are not able to support such calculations yet. Yunuo also heard what the technician said. What if the computing power of 2 level 9 computers is used together? Yunuo suggested. It is possible, but it is difficult. And, the technician glanced at Acho obscurely, because this involves the level 9 space technology of the demon civilization. If the opponent's level 9 supercomputer is allowed to join in, it is very likely that their technology will be stolen to a certain extent. Well, please allow me to ask the queen. Although Acho did not want to disturb his queen when she was fighting between level 9 combat powers, he could see that the current situation was very grim and must be changed. Okay, Yunuo nodded. He had no way to say anything more because he also knew that this involved other people's privacy technology. Queen, what's the matter, Acho? Didn't you see that I'm fighting very fiercely now? The Shura Empire has proposed a suggestion, which is to combine the computing power of our 9-level computers to divide the space of the entire battlefield, so that the angels of the angel civilization will fall into a state of fighting each other. But the problem now is that if we do this, the computing power of the 9-level computer will not be able to provide you with combat support. And the opponent's 9-level computer is also likely to obtain our technology in this area during this process. Humphrey. Morgana blocked his eyes attack with the demon claw. This may be a bit difficult. If we lose the support of the 9-level computer, the situation on my side and Mo Chen's side will become very serious. You ask the commander of the Shura Empire to discuss with their own main god. If the computing power of the 9-level computer is transferred away, how to fight this war between the 9-level combat forces. As for technology, it is just to provide computing power support. Even if they obtain the data, they can only learn the core data is kept on our side, and there is no problem giving it to them. Yes. On the other side, Yunuo also told Mo Chen his idea. Yes, but we must first estimate how long this process will take. And you also need to come out to fight against the 3 generations of the angel civilization. Otherwise, our current strategic deployment cannot be done without the assistance of the 9th-level computer. So, Yunuo and Acho talked again. Then, my king, the demon civilization said that it may take an hour to complete such a space division. I understand. Tell the demon civilization that if this tactic wants to proceed smoothly, their demon queen needs to fight against Holy Keshal with me, and Yen will deal with Hexi with Danzu. And all the 3 generations of the gods on our side need to deal with those high-level guardian angels that have been weakened by Yen. Yes. So under Mo Chen's command, the 3 generations of the gods of the Shura Empire, Nora Civilization, and the demon civilization all stood up and began to go to the location of the high-level angels controlled by Yen. Seeing this scene, Holy Keshal no longer held back and burst out with all her fighting power, directly causing several more wounds on Mo Chen's body. Mo Chen had not allowed these 3rd-generation divine bodies to appear before, not only because he hoped that they could appear at the critical moment, but also to prevent Holy Keshal from bursting out her ultimate combat power without reservation. At this time, Yan also released the control of those high-level guardian angels, allowing the 3rd-generation divine bodies on their side to take over this battlefield. She also rushed to the area where Morgana was, replaced Morgana and started fighting Hizai. After Morgana came to help Mo Chen quickly felt that his pressure was greatly reduced, because the main target of Keshal's attack directly became Morgana. Let's start. After Mo Chen gave the order, the computing power support obtained by Mo Chen and Morgana disappeared immediately. At the moment when the computing power support disappeared, golden rays of light appeared behind Mo Chen one after another. The light particles and life energy support from the Shura Empire army quickly poured into Mo Chen's body. Although the increase brought to Mo Chen did not reach the level of a level 9 supercomputer, it also allowed Mo Chen and Morgana to barely fight against Holy Keshal. At the same time, The angels on the side of the angel civilization also quickly felt a strong sense of spatial restraint. It was indeed too difficult to spatially cut the entire battlefield, so the demon civilization changed the method and began to seal the space around the angels on the battlefield. Using a house to compare, the difference between spatial cutting and spatial imprisonment is that on one side, if a person walks towards the left wall of the house, he will come out from the right wall, and on the other side, it is normal that he cannot move forward when he reaches the left wall. However, to break the spatial imprisonment, you only need to tear down the wall, while to break the spatial cutting, you need the corresponding spatial technology and extremely strong computing power to assist. You two are so cruel. Aren't you afraid that I will kill you two guys who have lost the assistance of the level 9 supercomputer first? Such a large-scale spatial imprisonment. Holy Keshal naturally has already felt it. Then you come and try. Although Mo Chen's body was covered with scars, his light wings were also quickly recovering from the injuries he suffered with the help of the light particle life energy. So although he was always suppressed by Holy Keshal, he still retained a relatively complete combat power. Chapter 185 Morgana's Betrayal. I can't understand it. I can't understand it. After losing the assistance of the 9th level computer, Mo Chen and Morgana could still barely fight against Holy Keshal for a short period of time, but as time passed, the various abilities released by Holy Keshal through stronger computing power brought more and more restrictions and weakening to Mo Chen and Morgana. With only Mo Chen and Morgana's own genetic computers, there was no way to compete with these restrictions created by Holy Keshal. However, only half an hour had passed since the loss of the assistance of the 9th level computer. Ugh! Morgana let out a painful roar, and her body was cut in half by Holy Keshal's silver wings. At this moment, Mo Chen had been forced into a desperate situation by Holy Keshal's 9th level weapons. There was a clear division of labor between the two before, and Morgana relied on her spatial ability to deal with Holy Keshal's strongest weapon, the silver wings, and Mo Chen relied on the large number of 8th level weapons in his hands that were enhanced to the 9th level to forcefully fight against Holy Keshal's arsenal. This farce should end. Holy Keshal looked at the two coldly. Now the strength of Mo Chen and Morgana has been weakened to the extreme. She temporarily used the Spear of Judgment at this moment, so that she would not be dodged and accidentally hurt other angels. But just when Holy Keshal tried to use the Spear of Judgment, a powerful force directly attacked from her body. Yan used his void ability to forcibly interfere with Holy Keshal's actions. Do you think I don't exist? His eye split several clones to kill Yan, but was blocked by Tanzu with his own body. At this moment of the battle, Tanzu was also severely damaged. Its chest deck was covered with deep sword marks, its right hand was cut off, and the steel wing loaded with artillery behind it was also torn off. Among the 9-level combat power of the Shura Empire, only Yan was still in a relatively good combat state, and it was also Yan's key interference that made Holy Keshal lose the opportunity to kill with this blow. Holy Keshal looked at the angel warriors who were struggling on the entire battlefield with an ugly face. Mo Chen and Morgana did not choose to use the space division technology, but chose the space cage tactic. Although the overall effect was much worse, it did not require an hour of preparation time, but it required two level 9 computers to run all the time. It would take at least 5 minutes for Holy Keshal to find another chance to kill Mo Chen and Morgana, but 5 minutes would cause the Angel Corps to suffer more than 100,000 losses. But for Holy Keshal, would she care about the death of these angels? Yes, but in Holy Keshal's view, if she could use this opportunity to destroy the Shura Civilization and the Demon Civilization together, and find out what the purpose of this Shura God Mo and the mysterious 4th generation God body is, and what secrets are hidden behind them, then the death of these angels is worth it. They are the victims of the angel civilization in practicing justice and order. Hold on for another 3 minutes. Mo Chen's voice appeared in Morgana's mind. From the implementation of the space cage tactic to now, the Angel Corps has suffered a lot of losses, and the overall situation is very bad now. It only takes another 3 minutes. Even if the space cage is removed, the Shura Empire can gain an absolute advantage on the battlefield. Okay. This was Morgana's answer. This surprised Mo Chen a little. According to his understanding of Morgana, Shouldn't Morgana be cursing at this time? But at this moment, Chen didn't think much about it. Although the situation was indeed as predicted by Holy Keshaw, if he wanted to find another chance to kill Chen and Morgana, he would have to wait at least 5 minutes later. But during these 3 minutes, Chen and Morgana would definitely not have a good time. They only needed to make a little mistake in the details, and the time point of 5 minutes would come directly. Chen's left arm now also had a penetrating wound. Just now, a long spear was inserted into it. Although it has been pulled out now, a strange energy is attached to the wound. This energy is different from the god-killing energy that can destroy the genes of the god body, but it also has a very strong destructive ability. For a while, Chen had no way to repair this wound. There were only 10 seconds left. Chen felt very uneasy at this moment. It seemed that from some unknown time, Holy Keshaw's main target of attack shifted from Morgana to him. My king, the demon civilization suddenly stopped the space cage. Yun Nuo's voice suddenly came. Huh? A sharp pain suddenly came. A dagger appeared in Chen's abdomen. The battle between Morgana and Holy Keshaw stopped. They looked at Chen at the same time. This dagger contains extremely terrible energy, and it is definitely a powerful one-time destructive weapon that is not stingy with the gun of judgment. Rogue? Holy Keshaw's playful voice appeared. Silver wings swung down, and Chen's head and body were separated. Of course, for the 4th generation of the divine body, even if the body and hands are separated, they are still alive. Chen did not speak, but just looked at Morgana indifferently. Whether it was the anime or his previous life experience, he had never really understood Morgana. Morgana might be a little willful, but when she speculated that the Shura Empire might be related to the time disorder she felt before, she knew that in this matter, her grudge with Holy Keshaw was not even a big deal. The other party can only slightly affect their memory now, which means that their grasp of time is not complete enough. If they master the complete time technology, then if they want to kill a person, they can directly travel back to the past and kill that person's larva. Even Holy Keshaw will die unclearly. If they want to destroy a civilization, they can directly travel back to the time when this civilization is still in the pre-nuclear era or even the primitive civilization state, and destroy this civilization, although doing so will definitely require a very high price and is unlikely to be realized. But Morgana didn't dare to gamble. Under the influence of the god of death Karl, she already had a fear of the void in her mind, and she didn't want to have another fear of time. Just when Chen told her that there were only 3 minutes left, she realized that this was the best opportunity to solve this matter. I will only join forces with you this time. After this matter, I will still come to destroy your corrupt free thoughts. From Morgana, Holy Keshaw learned that this Shura god may not only have the power of time, but also built a cosmic empire in this place. Either of these two is enough to prove that their threat is much greater than the demon civilization. A black square appeared in Holy Keshaw's body. This is a prison built by the angel civilization to imprison the 4th generation of divine bodies. Chen looked at the two sisters in front of him with very different styles. I miscalculated after all. Chen sighed. Then, in the shocked eyes of the two, Chen exploded. Chapter 186 The End of the War. Chen's body recondensed under the effect of the resurrection engine, and the silver spirit began to provide computing power support for Chen again. You actually still have such evil technology. Same here. Your left-wing guard also has a biological engine. Chen sneered. Yan really suffered from your evil hands. Holy Keshaw was not provoked to anger. When she learned about Chen's situation from Morgana, she had guessed that Yan's disappearance was related to them. Go ahead. This guy must have other means. The longer we delay, the more disadvantageous it will be for us. Morgana urged. There was no way. She betrayed the alliance with Chen. If Chen escaped in the end, she dared not imagine the consequences of revenge from a civilization that controlled the power of time. In fact, Chen was also helpless. He had no time technology at all, but everything was going smoothly according to plan. But it changed because Morgana suspected that he had mastered the time technology. So the situation where Chen and Morgana joined forces to deal with Holy Keshaw turned into the two of them joining forces to deal with Chen. Although Chen now has the computing power of a level 9 computer, He is facing a more dangerous situation than before because of Morgana's help. On the front battlefield, the army of the Shura Empire had already gained an advantage, but because of the return of the demon civilization, a stalemate has now occurred on the front battlefield. If it weren't for the mutual suspicion between the demon civilization army and the angel civilization army, the armies of the Shura Empire and the Norris civilization might have fallen into a disadvantage. Seeing this, Chen was extremely anxious. If this situation continued, the Shura Empire would inevitably be defeated in this war. Although the resurrection engine has no cooling time, if it is resurrected continuously, it will cause indelible damage to his mental will, which will weaken the addition of light particle life energy to him to the extreme, and even affect the computing power. But now the Shura Empire's army can't withdraw even if it wants to. After all, the gap in average strength is there. Even if they want to retreat, they can't be as fast as the angel civilization and the demon civilization. At this juncture, a powerful energy fluctuation suddenly appeared. Once a huge space crack appeared in the center of the entire battlefield. A man in a red robe came out, followed by more than 20 black robes. "Karl, you are finally here. Come and help me get rid of this Shura god." Morgana laughed when she saw the newcomer. Before the war started, she had actually told the death god Karl about the situation here. In her opinion, now is a good time to join forces with the death god Karl to kill Chen. After defeating the Shura Empire, he and the death god Karl can barely fight against the Holy Keshal and his eye. Not only can he not worry about the Holy Keshal being abandoned after the war, but he may also be able to snatch some benefits from the Holy Keshal. "Everyone, please give me a face and call for a ceasefire." Looking at all the level 9 combat forces present, the death god Karl said gently. This sentence also made Morgana's smug smile freeze. The death god Karl has a level 9 combat force, and the more than 20 black-robed people behind him all have a level 8 combat force. This is a combat force that can completely reverse the current situation on the entire battlefield. Death Karl, you should also know that this is a cosmic empire that has mastered the technology of time. If you stop me from destroying it now, this cosmic empire will inevitably become the most terrifying cosmic empire in history. Holy Keshal looked at Death Karl with a very solemn expression. The entire universe will have at most 900 years before the largest melee since the war 10,000 years ago. Everyone can see that the current situation in the universe is already very tense, and such a cosmic empire can just attract the attention of all the 9th-level civilizations. When the war breaks out, this cosmic empire that you think is extremely threatening will become the target of public criticism. At that time, you only need to operate it a little and release some false news. The melee that originally covered the entire universe will only break out here. These words were said by Death Karl to Holy Keshal alone. But what he didn't say was that if he did this, then after 900 years, he could smoothly and quietly complete his layout. He would design to kill Holy Keshal in the future in order to eliminate the only person who could prevent him from achieving his goal, and release the ancient angel King Hui in order to make the entire universe more chaotic, so that he could fish in troubled waters and achieve his goal. Now that he has such a cosmic empire, he no longer needs to do those things. As for whether such a cosmic empire that controls the power of time will pose a threat to him, in the eyes of the god of death Karl, when he masters the real void technology, such a cosmic empire will not pose any threat. And there is another reason why he stood up. That is, time technology must not fall into the hands of Holy Keshal. The angel civilization is already strong enough. If it masters time technology, it will have a very serious impact on the plan of the god of death Karl. Of course, as a scholar, it is impossible to say that the god of death Karl does not want time technology, but he does not mind completing his research on the void first, and then conducting research on time. I can't let such a threat grow. Not to mention that they have grown to such a point now. But it's still a lot worse than the cosmic empire 10,000 years ago, isn't it? That cosmic empire had already reached the 9th level before the Second Physical War, but it was still destroyed 10,000 years later. Holy Keshal fell into deep thought. Using this cosmic empire to reduce the damage to the entire universe caused by the future war, the idea of death god Karl was very bold. but it was indeed very likely to be realized. I agree. But one of their 3 9th-level combat forces must be destroyed. Killing a 9th-level combat force, then even if they create a new 9th-level combat force 900 years later, the threat will not be so high. Okay, Death God Karl agreed. Then, under the influence of the power of Death God Karl, a powerful space energy constrained Mo-Chan's movement. Holy Keshaw directly inserted a judgment spear into Mo-Chan's body. The horrible explosion directly tore Mo-Chan's body apart, decomposing Mo-Chan's body into atomic state. Even the divine body genes were destroyed by more than 90%. The god of death Karl dispersed these atoms to every corner of the universe through the big clock. Even if Mo-Chan wanted to revive through the divine body genes, it would take at least tens of millions of years. All troops retreat. Under the command of Holy Keshaw, the angel civilization withdrew. The god of death Karl and the demon civilization also left one after another. During the whole process, the army of the Shura Empire and Yen were extremely silent, because all the marshals and generals of the Shura Empire and Yen received the message from Mo-Chen after Mo-Chen was killed. I'm still alive, but I won't be back in a short time. All affairs in the Empire will proceed as they are. Chapter 187 Departure. I figured it out. I figured it out. I finally figured it out. Fate wept in the laboratory. There were 5 babies in the laboratory, including angel babies from the angel civilization and demon babies who were sent back to the demon civilization. But these 5 babies had one thing in common, that is, their bodies had completely turned into machines. They were the 5 babies who were transformed into semi-mechanical life forms found in the remains of the mechanical life forms of Cybertron by the Shura Empire. Fate spent 10 years studying how to replicate the miracle of these 5 babies, and now, he succeeded. He transformed a death row prisoner of the Shura Empire into a semi-mechanical life form. But if it was just this step, it would actually be meaningless. After all, those Cybertron mechanical life forms were there, and now there are even Cybertron mechanical life forms equivalent to the 3rd generation god body level. Mo-Chen and Fate's goal is not just that. Their goal is to create semi-mechanical life forms at the level of cosmic beasts. Imagine a legion of 100,000 cosmic beasts with a length of 10,000 meters and a strength of the 2nd generation god body level. Even a 4th generation divine body would have to flee in panic if faced with such a legion. If deployed on the frontal battlefield, there is probably no army of any civilization in the known universe that can resist the invasion of this legion. Fate. Mo-Chan's voice suddenly appeared in his mind. My king, I am in a state of suspended animation now. I will be resurrected in a month, but I will not return to the Shura Empire after resurrection. I need to go to various parts of the universe to plan for the future. When I am resurrected, I will return the light particle life form in my body and let it upgrade its grade here. In the next 100 years, I hope you can create the semi-mechanical life form in the form of a cosmic monster that we originally envisioned. In addition, I have an idea, which is about the research on time. I have a space-time crystal collection device in my hand. This device can collect space-time crystals near black holes. And space-time crystals are the only way to study time technology in the known universe. However, it is very risky to continue to study space-time crystals rashly. So I need you to start preliminary research on time after studying the semi-mechanical life form in the form of a cosmic monster. This kind of research will not have any results, but it will allow you to study space-time crystals more steadily. You have made countless contributions to the Shura Empire all the time, and I have seen all of this. I know that the party disputes in the Empire have gradually affected your research institute, but I believe you will make the right judgment. In addition to Fate, Xingfeng also received a message from Mo-Chen. The 2 of them were the only 2 people besides Yen who left a message to Mo-Chen alone. Xingfeng, the Imperial Investigation Bureau has taken shape since its establishment. I will leave the Empire for a long time in the future. Before that, I supported the establishment of the Imperial Investigation Bureau behind you, but now the time to really test you has come. I hope that when I come back, I can see that you have become someone who can fight against all factions in the entire empire on your own. The factions that Mo-Chen mentioned here are naturally not just civil official factions, but also include all the marshals and generals of the current Shura Empire. Of course, if the Imperial Investigation Bureau can suppress all factions, Chen will also suppress the Imperial Investigation Bureau. The reason why he said these words is that in the future he will inevitably go to those dangerous places in the universe, and sometimes it is very likely that he will not be able to communicate with Yinling and Ziyao for more than 10 years. This is related to how the Shura Empire will develop in the future. Chen has put the 100-year plan he established at that time in Ziyao's database. In the next 100 years, the Shura Empire will expand in the Chiwu star system. The Shura Empire will also thoroughly master all the basic technologies that a level 7 civilization should have. During the month when Chen entered a state of suspended animation, a great uproar broke out in the known universe. A cosmic empire that mastered time technology appeared on the territory of the destroyed cosmic empire 10,000 years ago. They did not know the details of the war between the angel civilization and this cosmic empire, but they knew that Holy Keshaw and Tenji Wang Hexi personally led the troops and eventually retreated. But this cosmic empire was not destroyed. Whether the two sides drew or reached some kind of deal, it meant that this cosmic empire already had absolute strength. So countless spies began to arrive at the border of the Shura Empire, and the Shura Empire's army also showed its powerful deterrent power. 30 supergiant war fortresses are stationed on the border all year round. As long as there is any tentative attack, these supergiant war fortresses will release terrible firepower. And within the Shura Empire, there was also a huge power struggle. Without Chen's help, all kinds of power struggles emerged, but the protagonist of this struggle was the Imperial Investigation Bureau, which had the shallowest foundation among all the forces. Various official dispatches and verbal frictions between officials continued to occur. However, since they did not know Chen's true situation, they did not go too far. A month later, Chen was resurrected. The leaders of various factions in the Shura Empire received a sentence from Chen. Everything is based on the development of the empire. This sentence means that Chen will not care how they conduct this party dispute, but if it affects the development of the Shura Empire, then it is not impossible for an entire party to be uprooted. After everything was over, Chen began to move towards a black hole. Since you all think that I have mastered the time technology, then let me do as you wish. Chapter 188 The Truth of the Universe. The Radrat Civilization, a weak 4th level civilization, is located at the edge of the core area of the known universe. However, no advanced civilization has ever set its sights on this civilization, because there are 2 black holes where this civilization is located. The 2 black holes have greatly reduced the potential of the Radrat civilization. If the Radrat civilization fails to reach the 6th level civilization within 600 years, so that their warships can get rid of the influence of these 2 black holes on space, this civilization will be destroyed by these 2 black holes. Is this the Yanli star field? The entire space is really messy. Chen spent a month on the journey and finally arrived at the location of the black hole closest to the Shura Empire. The space of the universe is constantly changing, but this change is regular, so the location can be determined by spatial coordinates. However, in places where black holes are located, the space is completely distorted, and there is no way to determine the location by spatial coordinates in such places. There should be another level 4 civilization here. However, according to the information on Galbia, this civilization will probably be destroyed by these 2 black holes in a few hundred years. However, it seems that no advanced civilization is willing to help this civilization get rid of its current predicament. Chen pondered for a while. Forget it. I'll go to that civilization. After installing the space-time crystal collection device, the reason why other high-level civilizations are unwilling to provide support to this civilization is that this civilization will be destroyed sooner or later, and even if it is not destroyed, it needs to leave this place. There is no way to gain resource benefits by helping this civilization. However, the Shura Empire does not care about these resources. What Chen wants to do is to continuously cultivate the power of the Shura Empire in various parts of the known universe, obtain intelligence from various places, and increase the voice of his own civilization in the entire universe. In fact, many advanced and top civilizations are also doing this, but they still need the forces they support to give them resource rewards. Chen flew towards one of the two black holes. The mutual influence of the two black holes is suitable for causing this place to be somewhat different from the surroundings of normal black holes. The situation reflected by Chen's genetic computer shows that the space disturbance here is very serious. No wonder those level 8 and 9 civilizations have completely abandoned this place even though it is clearly the core area. Chen frowned, because this kind of space disturbance will have a great impact on his actions. A divine body that masters level 8 space technology can face a black hole alone. The space technology that Chen's current divine body now possesses is actually only level 7. There is no need to be afraid of black holes because the gap in space technology can be made up by the powerful ability that he possesses. But in this situation, he is afraid that he can only use the space transmission device sold in the God Diamond Mall. Continue to analyze. Chen stopped where he was. The frequency of space changes here is too fast, and my computing power cannot keep up with its changing rhythm. Although the genetic computer in Chen's body is at the level of a 4th generation divine body, in terms of computing power, it is only at the level of a 4th level supercomputer. It's just that the operating efficiency has reached the level of a 9th level computer. That's it. Chen took out the space transmission device. However, when he entered the coordinates on the star map, the space transmission device showed that it could not locate the coordinates. Can't locate? Chen looked at the star map again. This shouldn't be the case. This space transmission device should locate the position from the perspective of the void, unless this position has been torn out of this universe and has completely disappeared from the known universe. The players in the previous life didn't seem to notice the situation. Chen decided to use his space ability to test it. But soon, Chen came out from another place in a mess. He even lost an arm because of this. This is impossible. Normal black holes should be caused by extremely strong gravity, but this black hole seems to be constantly swallowing up the existing space and expanding the original space here. That is to say, from the perspective of three-dimensional space, this black hole directly eliminates the original space and continuously expands the space within its influence. Take an x-axis as an example. The distance between the two coordinates was originally only 1, now the actual distance is still 1, but it looks like 10 to the naked eye. Chen's arm was directly split from the space and was completely swallowed by the important black hole. From the perspective of the known universe, the existence of this arm was completely erased. I can't understand it. Is it the existence of a higher dimension or something? Chen couldn't believe what was happening. It's like a gap, like a balloon with a hole, but what's expelled from a balloon is air, and what's expelled here is space. If the air in a balloon is completely lost, it will become flat, and if the original space of a three-dimensional space is completely lost, will the universe become a two-dimensional plane, or disappear completely? Chen shook his head. Dream realm. What is going on here? The truth of the universe. The truth? You need to unlock the 3rd level of permissions. Permissions again. Friendly reminder. You are not suitable to contact here at the moment. Chen fell into silence. What about the other black hole? It's also not suitable, and it's even more dangerous than here. What is lost there? Time? 3rd level permissions are required. Chen stopped talking. He knew that he had no information about this place, and there was a reason why those advanced civilizations and top civilizations completely gave up here, because all those who came to explore were destroyed. Chapter 189 Investment. I don't think what we are doing is right. It is impossible for our civilization to reach 60,000 or 70,000 yuan within 600 years by our own research. Then what do you say we should do? Even those advanced civilizations can't do anything with these two black holes. We don't have the resources to attract them to invest in our civilization, so we become their thugs and pawns. As long as we can preserve our civilization, you are giving up the dignity of our civilization. Civilization is about to be destroyed, so what dignity is there? Enough. The old man at the head of the conference room frowned and spoke. The top priority now is not to have these arguments, but how to prevent our civilization from being destroyed. Even if we become pawns of other civilizations, as long as we can get rid of the distorted space here, we can find a way to preserve the dignified civilization. The Radrat civilization does not have any rulers or leaders. This civilization selects elites in this field to make decisions on all aspects of various matters. For example, the current discussion on politics is participated by 100 members. Among these 100 members, 50 are nominated by the people of Radrat civilization. This nomination is open to all members of Radrat civilization. The top 50 votes can attend this meeting. The other 50 will pass a unified exam. Only those who rank in the top 50 in the total score of the political exam can attend this meeting. In the end, all the results will be decided by the votes of these 100 members. When discussing between two results, the one with a higher number of votes will be the final result. If there are 3 or more results, the result that finally passes this meeting must be the one with the highest number of votes and more than 30 votes among all the results. If this condition is not met, the meeting will be reconvened and all participants will re-elect. Does anyone object to what I said? The old man looked around at everyone present. He was the one with the highest number of votes among those elected this time. In the past 300 years, Radrat civilization has held a total of 53 large-scale formal meetings to determine the future direction of civilization. This old man has participated in the election 31 times, and he received the highest number of votes in the entire civilization 12 times. It can be said that this old man is the most respected person in this civilization. After hearing the old man's words, everyone present was silent, because they all knew that under such circumstances, it was almost impossible to preserve their own civilization and retain their self-esteem. Then only some people can bear the shame of civilization, while the other part will split from those who bear the shame after escaping the life and death crisis of the 2 black holes. To become the new Radrat civilization, don't you think you are naive? A voice suddenly appeared in this conference room. The 100 people who were in this meeting looked at each other, but they all saw the confusion in each other's eyes. No need to look at each other. I said this to you through the dark plane. I am above the main star of your civilization. When I was obtaining information about your civilization, I happened to hear your conversation. Who are you? A young man stood up and said to the ceiling, you can call me Shura God, one of the supreme gods in the known universe, a 4-body god. I wonder why you are here? The old man stood up and bowed to the ceiling. I came here for these 2 black holes. These 2 black holes are not ordinary black holes. They contain very deep secrets. I can unconditionally support your civilization and ensure that your civilization will become a level 7 civilization within 400 years. But I need your civilization to stay here. I spent half a month observing the laws of these 2 black holes. It doesn't take 600 years for these 2 black holes to devour your civilization, but only 500 years. What I want you to do is to guard these 2 black holes for me during these 500 years, and not let any civilization come into contact with these 2 black holes. Why should we trust you? One person stood up and asked with his head held high. Chen did not speak, but a chip suddenly appeared on the conference table. There is the technology needed to make a level 5 supercomputer. As long as you study it carefully, your civilization can enter the level 5 civilization in 10 years at most. I will come here again in 100 years. As long as your civilization can master the technology of the 5th generation of super soldiers and the level 5 space battleships in these 100 years, I will help you master all the basic technologies of the level 5 civilization. Everyone in the conference room applied to use the level 4 supercomputer of their own civilization to verify the authenticity of the content of this chip. Finally, the laboratory of the Radrat civilization told everyone that all the technologies contained in this chip were real. Thank you, God. The old man stood up immediately, and everyone in the conference room immediately stood up with the old man. Just take what you need. But you must remember that if there is an enemy that you cannot resist after stationing here for 500 years, you can contact me through this device. Another black box appeared in the center of the conference room. This is the interstar communication device that Chen exchanged from the Divine Diamond Mall. But if you contact me, and I find that you can deal with the civilization that comes here, or that you have not fulfilled your responsibility to guard this place for the past 500 years, I will personally take action and completely destroy your civilization. I will obey the command of the God. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, It means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We are waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 190 Guidance from the Dream World. My king, a high-level divine body has descended on the Radrat civilization. Radrat? Is it for those two black holes? With our current technology, there is no way to detect those two black holes, so our technical department has no way of knowing whether the high-level body has gone to those two black holes to explore. There is no way of knowing whether this high-level divine body has realized the special nature of the two black holes. Okay, I understand. The monarch of the Jezrona civilization nodded. The Jezrona civilization is the only Chen body civilization with a 9th level body evolution type in the known universe. In a sense, if their original bodies were not Chen bodies, this civilization could no longer be called a Chen body civilization. This civilization implants various biological genes into its body, and seeks evolution by destroying and reorganizing its original genes. Take the monarch of this civilization, the bloody dragon Nargatil, for example. His body contains the genes of 16 different types of cosmic beasts. He does not have any special abilities, but he has the most terrifying vitality in the known universe. In terms of energy utilization, he may not even be as good as a second-generation divine body. However, even if Holy Keshaw, Demon King Morgana, and Tenji King Hexi joined forces, they might not be able to kill him, beat Holy Keshaw into the state of holy atoms, and then scatter these holy atoms throughout the universe. It will take Holy Keshaw 100 million years to revive, and this guy, as long as there is one formed cell, it will take no more than a minute to split and revive into his original appearance. Even if a star explodes next to him, the destruction of his body by the star explosion may not catch up with his recovery speed. His body is 600,000 meters long. In the interstellar battlefield, even if he does not have any special abilities, he only needs to roll in the battleship group to destroy countless space battleships. In the 9th level combat power, no one can kill him in a single fight, but it is also difficult for him to kill any 9th level combat power. However, such an almost unsolvable existence in the previous life mysteriously fell before the war began. Even I can get to the bottom of the horror there. I know that other civilizations in the universe can only suspect that the two black holes may be special, but there is no way to really dig out the secrets. If that guy really finds something abnormal there, let him explore it himself. It would be great if he died there. If I intervene for no reason, I'm afraid it will only attract the attention of other civilizations and make them realize that there is something unusual there. Nargat thought so. At this moment, Chen, who had just left the Radrat civilization, did not realize that his behavior had been noticed by another level 9 civilization because he did not have the help of a level 9 supercomputer. I originally thought that I could install 2 space-time crystal collection devices at the same time, but I didn't expect this result. According to the intelligence obtained from the planet Galbia, the next black hole is 13.5 million light-years away. It will take about half a year to get there. I hope this black hole is a real black hole. The space transmission device is not used because there are actually a lot of relics and treasures in the known universe, many of which cannot be obtained through intelligence. On the way to the black hole, Chen can not only conquer low-level civilizations along the way, but also discover those relics and treasures. Chen sighed. He looked in the direction of the 2 black holes, still a little scared. In Chen's eyes, the 2 black holes are more terrifying than the extreme point that created the void body like Yen. Void? This is the world of spiritual bodies, the opposite of the existing material world. The official statement is 6-dimensional space, but I made a change here. After all, I don't think I can write 6-dimensional space. It has been understood by the existing scientific system of the known universe and can be used to a certain extent. And the 2 black holes are likely to involve higher dimensions. This is something that the known universe cannot imagine at present. There is something suitable for you in this location. The voice of the dream world appeared in Chen's mind. At the same time, the system map suddenly opened in front of Chen's eyes. There was a prominent red punctuation on this star map. What do you mean? Before you master the first level of authority, I will help you avoid the inevitable end. After you master the first level of authority, this help will be cancelled, and instead, I will provide certain special places and special items to help your civilization develop. Mo Chen thought for a while. So, every time I unlock a level of authority, the help you give me is different? Yes. That is to say, before I get the first level of authority, I am still in the novice protection period. After I get the first level of authority, you are equivalent to providing me with a task guide. You can understand it this way, but you will only give guidance when you encounter places or items such as ruins that are suitable for the current stage of development of your civilization. Mo Chen felt that he had guessed almost all of the doubts when he just unlocked the first level of authority. Okay. In that case, let's go there first. Chapter 191 Treasure Hunt. Yin region is located at the edge of the core area of the universe. It is a very common place in the known universe, but despite being located in the core area, its resources are very poor. This is the core battle zone of the First Physical War, and a large number of resource stars were almost all destroyed in this war. This also led to the resource distribution rate here being even lower than that of most remote areas. And because of that war, no interstellar civilization has been born here for tens of thousands of years, and no advanced civilization will set its sights on this place. But the guidance given to Mo Chen by the Dream World is here. If there is anything here that can help the Shura Empire, it should be the Jade Core Mine. Mo Chen recalled in his mind the harvest of the players in his previous life in this area. The Jade Core Mine has extremely low hardness, extremely poor dark energy conduction ability, extremely poor plasticity, and extremely poor heat resistance. It can be said that it is a resource that is completely unsuitable for weapon manufacturing. However, this ore can absorb light energy and has a very high storage capacity. But both the absorption and release speeds are very slow, and the utilization rate is extremely low. So even if this ore stores a lot of light energy, no civilization that uses light energy is willing to mine this ore. The reason why Mo Chen thought this ore would be useful to the current Shura Empire was because of the existence of light particle life forms. If this ore was used to cultivate light particle life forms in the Research Institute, after scientific use, the efficiency would be much higher than it is now. But Mo Chen felt that if that was the case, the Dream Realm would not need to make him come here specifically. What is here? Is it to speed up the development of the Shura Empire, or to improve my combat effectiveness? When the Chen civilization just walked out of their own star field, they had friendly ideas and wanted to establish friendly relations with other civilizations in the universe. But the first civilization they encountered was a triangular civilization, and the main star of the Chen civilization happened to be a planet with an ocean of destruction area of more than 60%. So the war began. In the early days, the Chen civilization still had the upper hand, but as more and more triangular civilizations joined the war, the Chen civilization gradually lost its advantage. But in this process, they discovered a civilization called Reliant. Through the technology of that civilization, the Chen civilization has achieved rapid development, and launched a final battle with the triangular civilization in the Yin domain, and won the First Physical War. The Dream World did not tell Mo Chen what was here, but just told such a story. I know all this. What do you mean? But this time the Dream World did not answer Mo Chen. It means that what it wants me to get is contained in this story? Mo Chen recalled what the Dream World said to him, but there was no special information that could be extracted. All the content related to the triangular civilization here is basically general, not specific, which means that the things that the Dream World wants me to obtain have nothing to do with the triangular civilization. The only thing that needs to be pulled out separately is the Chen civilization, the Reliant civilization, and the triangular civilization that the Chen civilization first encountered. That triangular civilization was destroyed by the Chen civilization long before entering the decisive battle stage, so it can be skipped. And if it is something from the Chen civilization, the Dream World does not need to mention the Reliant civilization in this story. So this thing belongs to the Reliant civilization? In other words, to find this thing, you need to use the technology of the Void? Mo Chen looked at his star map. The mark made by the Dream World on it was a red ball, and this red ball included most of the yin domain. Does it mean that I need to use the void technology to find this thing within this range? Chen could only guess so for the time being. He clicked on the Shenzhen Mall, which contained a device called the Void Detector. The price was 50,000 Shenzhens. The function was to detect the fluctuations of the void energy within a certain range, and it was a one-time use. The limit that could be detected was the 8th level void engine. Overall, it is actually quite useless. After all, with Chen's current strength, there is actually no need to worry about the void engine of level 8 or below. And if you equip your men with it to find the enemy in battle, the price of 50,000 divine diamonds for one use is too expensive. It can be said that unless the war is very critical, otherwise, there is no need to use this device at all. Chen took out this useless device. The range is quite large, it can cover the entire yin domain, but it can only be fully utilized when fighting the Death God civilization. All the void fluctuations in the entire yin domain are displayed on this void detector. It's normal. There is no void fluctuation. So did I guess wrong? Chen lowered his head and thought, no, this war took place after the Chen civilization defeated the Lao civilization. It is impossible that there is no void fluctuation left, unless the void fluctuation is level 9, so this device cannot detect it. Chen can't think of any other possibilities now, so Chen took out the interstar communication device. The message he left for Yen was, study the technical knowledge of space well. I will need your help sometimes. I will contact you through the interstellar communication device. After all, only Yen can move freely in the entire known universe through the void engine in his body. Yen, I need your help. I am now in Yin domain. Chapter 192, Void World and Bronze Mirror. This place is very special. This is what Yan said after observing the situation nearby. How is it special? Chen asked hurriedly. There is a very special energy field here, which will cause a strong sense of oppression to high-level divine bodies that use void abilities. If you don't have void abilities, or the level of the void engine you have is not high enough, you can't feel this special sense of oppression at all. So it must be the holder of a level 9 void detection device or a void engine to feel the item that Mengxian wants me to find? Chen thought. Can you find where that sense of oppression is released from? It's difficult, but I can try. But I may need a period of rest. I just consumed too much. Yan thought for a while and said, thank you. Yan closed his eyes and stopped in place. The void power here can only be felt by those with level 9 void abilities. Although it will produce a great pressure, the energy itself can still be activated. So Yan can directly absorb these void energies. About 5 hours later, Yan opened his eyes. I'm recovered, and I can start exploring. Yan began to use the void energy he had just absorbed, radiating to the entire yin region with himself as the center. Found it. After searching for about 3 hours, Yan finally captured the source of this oppressive feeling. The void power invades the known universe layer by layer. If there are void creatures that want to enter the known universe, they need to advance layer by layer from the void plane. The semi-void plane mentioned in the known universe is actually the first layer of the void world, and those so-called means of releasing attacks and locking positions through the void engine are carried out through the second and third layers of the void world. My ability to forcibly control those divine bodies is achieved through the fourth layer of the void world, and the displacement to any corner of the universe is achieved through the fifth layer of the void world. The void world is divided into 9 layers in total, and only the 9th layer is the real void world and the place where the strongest void life form is located. Yan narrated slowly. You didn't tell me this before. Chen frowned. I don't know either. It was the thing hidden here that told me. Yan's expression was also very solemn at this moment. The strength of the void life forms is related to the level of the void world they are in. In the first void invasion that the Shura Empire encountered, those soldiers belonged to the first level of the void world, and those void beasts came from the second level of the void world. These void life forms, with each level they advance, will have an increased impact on the known universe. For example, if a void life form on the 9th level goes to the 8th level, then the opponent can use the power of the first level in the known universe. If the opponent goes to the 7th level, then the second level of power can be used. So, Those void demons came to the known universe, so they used the first level of void power, and those few void beasts, if they come to the known universe, can use the second level of void power. Chen understood immediately. Not necessarily. The strength of each layer of void life forms is also strong and weak. The strength of the first layer of void life forms corresponds to the first to fourth levels in the known universe. The strength of the second layer of void life forms corresponds to the fifth to the weaker seventh level in the known universe. The third layer corresponds to the seventh to the weaker eighth level. The fourth layer corresponds to the stronger eighth level. The fifth and sixth layers correspond to the ninth level, and the seventh, eighth, and ninth layers correspond to the strength above the ninth level. Chen somewhat understood why the god of death Karl was so afraid of the void, and yet so fanatical about it, because this was a power that the known universe civilization system could not reach. And the object here now actually comes from the eighth layer void world, and before the first physical war, it had already entered the fourth layer void world with the help of the Shura Civilization, but because of some reasons that the other party doesn't want to tell me now, when the Chen Civilization attacked the Shura Civilization, these void life forms did not help the Shura Civilization. Later, when it came to the decisive battle of the first physical war, the Chen Civilization brought the object where its power was stored, and the two sides should have reached some kind of deal. But after it helped the Chen Civilization to defeat its opponent, the Chen Civilization betrayed the agreement between the two parties and sealed it here by unknown means. The reason why I can feel it now is that the Chen Civilization felt that it was too dangerous at the beginning, but it was a rare high-level void life that could communicate, so I want to wait until my research on the power of the void reaches a certain level before unsealing this item, and then conduct a more in-depth study of the void through this void life form. Yan told Chen all the information she could learn from that item. Can you control it? The opponent can only use the fourth level of void power now. I can control it, but it has no effect on my strength. But I can make it work for you. Yan directly used his fifth level of void power and took out a mirror. But I need to remind you that as you use this item more and more times, the void life behind this item will penetrate deeper into the known universe. According to my current guess about the void energy on it, this item can be used at most 8 times, and the void life behind it will enter the third level of the void world. If by the time I have not mastered the 6th level of void power, then this item will be out of my control. At that time, the only one who can control it may be the Death Civilization you mentioned before. Yan put the bronze mirror in Chen's hand. What is the use of this bronze mirror? Chen took a deep breath, calmed his somewhat impetuous heart, and asked, unconditionally copy 3 clones with the same combat power as the opponent you are facing, and the duration is permanent. As long as we can still control this bronze mirror, the 3 clones will always be under your control. However, since this mirror can only use the 4th level of void power, the strength of the replicas can only reach the weaker level of 8th level at most. What if this bronze mirror is out of our control? These replicas will become indescribable terrible things, and can release the 4th level of void power unscrupulously. This is really terrible. Chen was full of emotion. Then I'll go first. The Virtual League finals are probably about to begin. What did you say? Aren't you learning space technology? Did I say anything? Yan used the void ability to disappear on the spot. Chapter 193 Confused Karl. Chen carefully observed the bronze mirror that Yan had taken out. This bronze mirror looked very ordinary, but when it was used to reflect people, 3 figures with very different styles would be reflected on the mirror. At this moment, one of the 3 Chens in the mirror was laughing crazily. One had the same expression as Chen, but his body and head were reversed, and the last one was completely black, like a shadow, and only the outline could tell that it was Chen. When Chen made a move, the Chen who was laughing crazily didn't care at all, while the Chen with the opposite head and body twisted his body to make a move in the same direction as Chen. And the movement of the shadow was the same as the normal mirror reflection. This thing is really weird. Chen put the bronze mirror in the heart of the Sea of Stars. This mirror can be used up to 8 times. It can copy 3 level 8 initial combat forces at a time. which is a total of 24 level 8 primary combat forces. It is even enough to support a 4th generation divine body for several hours on the battlefield. However, for the current Shura Empire, although 24 level 8 combat forces can indeed enhance the strength of the Shura Empire, it is not necessary. I may also encounter some situations that require additional combat forces in my line, and this mirror can be of great help to me. TSK, I forgot. Chen rubbed his temple. The events of the 9-layer void world just now were too shocking, but I forgot to collect a batch of jade core ore for Yan to take back. Now it is unlikely that Yan will come to lie down. Forget it. Let's go and lie down later using the space transmission device. Chen sighed. That Shura god, controls a cosmic empire with time power. Di Hongkun's voice echoed in this empty hall. Although it is a top-level level 8 civilization, it is not a level 9 civilization after all, so Di Hongkun did not receive the news from the Holy Kesha in the first place. The news about the Shura Empire will gradually spread to all the 8th level and above civilizations in the universe, but it will only stop at the 8th level. What? Panzen couldn't believe what he heard. They had a fight with the Angel Civilization. I don't know the final result, but Holy Kesha and Tenji King Hexi eventually led the Angel Legion to withdraw from there. Didn't Holy Kesha summon the 9th level civilization to destroy that universe empire? Even if she summoned it now, what's the use? There are less than 1,000 years left. Apart from the Angel Civilization, which 9th level civilization would be willing to take action? Those 9th level civilizations that usually agree with the Angel Civilization are only for profit after all. Then do we want the Shura Empire to expand here? Panzen asked with his head down. In the future war that is bound to come, if we make the right choice, we can still protect ourselves, but if we take a wrong step, the remaining half of Liang Star may be destroyed. What we have to do now is neither to stop nor to adapt, but to wait and see. Only when Arena becomes the 4th generation divine body can our Liang civilization truly compete with those top forces in the universe. Yes. After Panzen left, Di Hongkun sighed. The concept of peace and prosperity in Liang civilization today is not only because Di Hongkun feels guilty about what he did in the past, but also so that his civilization can safely wait for the day when Arena becomes the 4th generation divine body. In this universe, both justice and evil are false. As the most powerful force in the universe, the Angel Civilization can still abide by and promote a more fair justice, but it is just luckier. The most important thing in this universe is always strength. Why do I suddenly feel a palpitating fluctuation? In the Death Song Academy, the death god Karl, who was studying the Void Engine, suddenly said, just now, he felt a very terrible breath, and this feeling made him feel like he was falling into an ice cave. This shouldn't be the case. All the channels in the known universe that involve the high-level void world have been closed by the teacher, and it is impossible for the breath of high-level void life forms to appear. Death god Karl muttered to himself. Unless it is the connection of the high-level void life forms in this universe obtained from the Relia civilization, but all those items have been sealed by the original Chen civilization. If you want to unlock those seals, you must at least master the 4th level of void power. Could it be? Death god Karl thought of the void fluctuations that appeared in the Zero experiment site at that time. I have just mastered the 4th level of void power. I am afraid that this force's research on the void is better than mine if it can break those seals. Could it be that the teacher did it? No, this is impossible. Did any scientific research team of Chen civilization that studied the void power disappear, or betrayed? Or was it the backup of Chen civilization? Death god Karl was puzzled. Chapter 194 The Age of Discovery. TSK. I didn't expect it. A man sighed in a star field full of warship wreckage. There are countless wars in this world, and countless civilizations have been destroyed, but the destruction of civilization does not mean that all the armies and strong men of this civilization have died. Under the huge base of the interstellar civilization army, even if the civilization is destroyed, there will always be some scattered armies that escape, and these scattered armies often gather together to form star pirate groups. They rely on plundering other civilizations for a living, and basically do not develop the technology of their own civilization. Only a small number of star pirate groups like the Jinuo civilization gradually became star pirate civilizations. These star pirate groups and star pirate civilizations have always been a force in the universe that cannot be ignored but is also disgusting. However, under such circumstances, there is no level 9 civilization that has carried out a thorough cleanup of them, and even the Angel civilization has not done so. Because all civilizations cannot avoid resource plundering in their own development process, but these civilizations need a good reputation to publicize their prestige in the universe. So they often hire pirates to plunder other civilizations, and then appear as saviors to absorb those civilizations as subordinate civilizations. Now, the most powerful 8th level pirate group in the known universe has received a business. That is to go to the border of the universe and reach the periphery of the 9th level civilization Norris civilization, go there to plunder, and in the process, the 9th level civilization that commissioned them will give them all the armed support they need. And what they need to do is to get as much information as possible about a cosmic empire that controls the power of time. In fact, not only they have received this commission, but 80% of the tens of millions of pirate groups in the known universe have received this commission. However, most of these pirate groups are just cannon fodder. Only those 7th level and 8th level pirate groups are placed with hope by those 9th level civilizations. Those 9th level civilizations just want to use us to test the strength of the cosmic empire. They are not even willing to give us all the information they know. The leader of this pirate group told his pirate group members about this. Jason, I think there is no need for us to go there. That cosmic empire is so fearful of other level 9 civilizations, so it must have level 9 combat power, and it is very likely that there is more than one. If we go there, we can indeed obtain the technological weapons support given to us by that level 9 civilization, which will greatly enhance the strength of our star pirate group. But if we can't come back alive from that cosmic empire, then all of this is fake. The deputy captain expressed his worries. In fact, it doesn't matter if we go there, we just need to take the first batch of weapons and equipment they give us. As for whether we should obtain intelligence about this empire in exchange for more technological weapons support after we go there, we can just make a judgment based on the actual situation, right? The captain of the first team spoke. Yes, as long as we go there, we can get a wave of weapons for free. It's not a loss if we don't go there to obtain intelligence. The words of the captain of the first team were quickly recognized by the leading members of the Star Pirate group. Okay, seeing that his men all agreed with the words of the captain of the first team this time, Captain Jason no longer hesitated. Then do what Jirk said. Guys, head to the border of the universe. Yes, wait, it's back. The Age of Discovery event will be launched within 3 years. All players please be prepared. Chen, who had just sent the Jade Core Stone back to the Shura Empire, was stunned after seeing this message. Dream Realm, what's going on with this event? Such an event had never appeared in his previous life. The information of the Shura Empire has been known by many level 8 and 9 civilizations in the known universe. For this reason, they hired star pirate groups and star pirate civilizations in the universe to come to the Shura Empire to explore intelligence. Dream Realm explained the reason to Chen. Star pirates, it's not a big deal. There are no star pirate forces in the known universe that have reached the level 9. Let Xingfeng, Yu, Yunnuo and others deal with them. Chen was relieved and was about to open the map. Please pay attention to all players. The Star Pirate profession will be unlocked soon. Players can check the specific details in the game forum. After hearing this notice from Dream Realm, Chen quickly opened the game forum. Profession, Star Pirate. Players can choose to switch to Star Pirate. After the switch, they will completely give up the qualification to obtain resource stars. The plundering harvest will double. The speed of civilization technology development will be reduced by 20%. System activity rewards will increase by 40%. Auction transaction costs will be reduced by 10%. Exchange transaction costs will be reduced by 15%. The offensive combat effectiveness of the army will be strengthened by 20%. The defensive combat effectiveness of the army will be reduced by 20%. The movement speed of the army warships will be increased by 25%. The space technology of the civilization will be weakened by 10%. An exclusive task interface, Star Pirate Commission, will be opened. Ordinary civilization masters will get an exclusive task interface, bounty list. After reading the introduction of the Star Pirate profession, Chen said with a dark face and gritted teeth, "No wonder this activity is not called Star Pirate Invasion, but called the Age of Navigation." Chapter 195 Competitive Star Program. At present, the expansion of the Lord system of the Shura Empire has achieved very good results. The players in the Shura Empire have also become stable. But at this time, the Star Pirate profession created by the Dream Realm will greatly affect the stability of the Shura Empire. Everything the Dream Realm does is to improve the strength of the players. But the stable form that the Shura Empire has finally established will disappear because of this Star Pirate profession. But just after Chen finished speaking, he suddenly realized something. Those level 8 and 9 civilizations can hire Star Pirates, and I can do the same. Even if those players change their professions to Star Pirates, I only need to change the direction of their plundering to other NPC civilizations, and even give them rewards and support when they plunder. And those players who change their professions to Star Pirates can still be used by me. The strengthening of these players' job changes will become the strengthening of the Shura Empire's strength. Chen had hardly played games before entering this game world transformed by the Dream Realm, so his understanding of games basically came from the 1,000 years of hard work in the Dream Realm in his previous life. However, due to Yunfeng's advice, Chen can now gradually put himself into the role of an NPC, and start to think about the psychology of players from the perspective of game planning. The matter of players will be handed over to the Shura Empire Alliance. For the Shura Empire, the most urgent task is to get rid of those NPC pirates first. Chen sent a message to Yunfeng, then he went directly to his next destination. The Kolros star field, located in the outer area of the known universe, is a barren and war-torn place. But in fact, it is a biological testing ground of a level 9 civilization. The Dialis civilization is a level 9 civilization of technological weapons. But when their civilization reaches level 9, they plan to integrate biology and technology. The Kolros star field is one of the biological testing grounds they chose. They will put the life forms there for biological experiments, and then put the technological life forms they have created there to participate in the war and observe the data. For an experimental area like this that is completely dominated by the 9th level civilization and is not located in the core area of the known universe, no matter how miserable the civilization there is, the angel civilization is powerless to control it. Of course, Chen went there just to install a space-time crystal collection device in the black hole. To save those miserable civilizations in the experimental field, it is meaningless for Chen. The Virtual Professional League was first created by Chen to increase people's understanding of interstellar wars, select talents and help people adapt to the bodies of super soldiers. However, as the Shura Empire entered the level of all super soldiers, the Virtual Professional League became a pure talent selection competition. However, in the past 10 years, since all players have completely returned to the Shura Empire, the Virtual Professional League has gradually transformed into a grand event participated by all players. Every player will send his team to participate in the Virtual Professional League of the Shura Empire. After 5 months of layer-by-layer selection, the last 72 teams left will go back to the 3-month-long points competition. The teams ranked in the top 16 in the final points will stand out. Then they will enter the knockout stage to decide the quarterfinals, semifinals and finals. In the knockout process, the opponents of each team are determined by drawing lots, and the 2 hostile teams will play 5 games. Whichever side wins 3 games first will advance smoothly. Chen uses this method to enhance the players' attention to the combat effectiveness of their own characters and squads, because after entering the 6th level civilization, the main combat methods of Divine Body Combat are individual combat and squad combat. And on this road, the Shura Empire has always been a leader. In the past 14 years of competition, the Shura Empire's participating teams have won a total of 12 championships and 2 runner-ups. Chen will also reward players according to their rankings in the virtual professional league, and the rewards are very generous. This is also a way for Chen to stabilize the current situation in the Shura Empire. After all, if any player withdraws from the Shura Empire, then their team will not be able to participate in the virtual professional league, and there will be no way to get ranking rewards. The stronger the civilization, the more reluctant it is to leave the Shura Empire because of the high ranking and extremely rich rewards in this virtual professional league. In fact, Chen has another idea for the virtual professional league. However, it is very difficult to realize this idea. This idea is to create a competitive star. Galbia is a well-known commercial star in the universe, but in fact, the arena is the most profitable place on Galbia. If Chen can create a competitive star that can influence the 9th level civilization, then it will bring great benefits to the Shura Empire. Chapter 196 Honeycomb. In the following months, Chen went to the locations of 4 black holes in total. During this process, Chen also conquered a civilization called Jilur. This civilization is a level 5 civilization, but it is located in a very remote corner of the known universe, and is very far away from most of the level 9 civilizations in the known universe. Although this distance is not a big deal for many high-level civilizations, but it is only a level 5 civilization, and its geographical location is biased and resources are scarce, so those level 8 and 9 civilizations are too lazy to take this civilization as their subordinate civilization. This makes Chen pick up a bargain for nothing. As for the Shura Empire, because of the existence of Yen, as Yen's mastery of her void engine continues to improve, she can quickly shuttle to various parts of the universe and help those civilizations that have already attached to the Shura Empire to build space devices for long-distance large-scale transmission. Yen, to man, it's confirmed, in the later stage, through these transmission devices, the Shura Empire's army can also be transmitted to every corner of the universe in an instant. In terms of mobility, it is stronger than any level 9 civilization in the known universe, and if the Shura Empire is willing in the later stage, it can even use these space devices to complete the full expansion of the remote areas of the known universe. By that time, there will be a sense of sight of the countryside surrounding the city. The next place. Chen looked at his next destination and fell into thought. If I want to go there, I may need to make some preparations. Chen even planned to skip there and go directly to the next destination, because that place is the place where Chen's black history in his previous life was located. In his previous life, when Chen's civilization explored there, it was only a 6th level civilization, but there is a very special relic there. This civilization is actually just a 7th level civilization, but its relics have been integrated with a cosmic phenomenon. That is the cosmic phenomenon called honeycomb. Originally, this cosmic phenomenon was just a very serious disorder in the space of a certain place. As a result, entering that space is like entering a honeycomb. I have been in a maze, with exits everywhere, but I can never enter the core area of this honeycomb, and this relic is now completely integrated with this honeycomb. The core area of this relic is located in the core area of the hive. It was originally just a distorted space, but now it is full of weapons to protect the relic. This is of course nothing for Chen, who has become a 4th-generation divine body. Even for the Moling civilization that had become a 6th-level civilization, it was not a big problem. But the hive has 2 core areas, and there is a black hole in the other core area. This causes the space inside the hive to be not only chaotic, but also has the possibility of being suddenly swallowed by the black hole at any time. In Chen's previous life, he lost a lot of troops in this hive, and finally reached the core area by luck. And the core area he arrived at was still the one with the black hole. In the end, he paid a huge price to escape from there. Some people may wonder why Chen knew there were relics here in his previous life, but I mentioned before that players can locate the location of the relics around them through the dream world. Since he entered there in his previous life because of the influence of the black hole, he could reach the location of the black hole. So if Chen wants to go in and find the black hole again, he can only rely on himself to find it again. Moreover, due to the influence of the black hole, the chaotic space inside the honeycomb is still changing. Whether or not the black hole can be found in the end may all depend on luck. If the luck is bad enough, you may see the black hole but be swallowed by it directly. If you want to explore there, I'm afraid you have to find some props first. Chen clicked on the Divine Diamond Mall, the auction house and the exchange function in turn. In the Divine Diamond Mall, Chen bought 5 space transmission devices and 2 extreme gravity devices. The function of the extreme gravity device is to collect items in areas with relatively chaotic space. Chen is now using it to fight against the spatial chaos caused by the black hole. In the warehouse of the auction house of the Shura Empire, Chen did not find anything useful. However, in the process of searching the exchange, Chen did find a useful prop: imprisonment stone. Control a target at a spatial coordinate point, and the target cannot leave that coordinate point by any means, and the duration is 1 hour. The price is extremely expensive, and it cost Chen 4 million blue diamonds, which is 400,000 divine diamonds. But this stone can be reused, which means that the value of this item is fully worthy of 4 million blue diamonds. After making sufficient preparations, Chen set off towards the hive. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelist. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We are waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 197. The Third Core Area. Honeycombs are a special cosmic phenomenon. Due to the distorted and disordered space conditions, a stone resource called nest stone will be produced inside them. The function of this nest stone is to build the type of space treasures such as the Heart of the Star Sea in Chen's hands. However, the Heart of the Star Sea is naturally formed in the universe, but it is made of honeycombs, which requires a certain level of space technology to manufacture. Moreover, compared with the Heart of the Star Sea, the space-type treasure props that can be manufactured by nest stones due to their own material relationship are much worse than the space treasures naturally formed in the universe in terms of size and stability of the manufactured space. Moreover, this kind of artificial space treasure made by nest stones will have many restrictions on use. But no matter what, the number of naturally produced space treasures in the universe is extremely rare. Even many level 9 civilizations may only have 1 or 2 such treasures. Therefore, the nest stone in the honeycomb is a very important strategic resource in the universe. This honeycomb in the Baidas star field has also been explored by many advanced civilizations in the past. However, due to the black hole inside this hive, the mining risk of this hive is extremely high. Even if it is a level 9 civilization, it is impossible to really let its level 8 and level 9 combat forces go here to mine. So this hive was abandoned by the advanced civilization of the known universe. It's difficult. Chen couldn't help but sigh before entering this hive. The inside of the hive is abnormally colorful, and various streams of light flash continuously, and the nest stone is hidden in those streams. Analyzing the spatial change law here, limited by the amount of calculation, a spatial change model with an accuracy of 65.42% can be simulated. This is the result reflected by Chen's genetic calculator. 65.42%. This data seems to be barely usable, but in this place where there are millions of possible changes every second, this accuracy still has great risks. But now there is no way. After all, Chen does not have a supercomputer to assist in calculations. That is, at Chen's current speed, he will encounter a fork in the hive almost every 3 seconds. But Chen and the hive have been deadlocked for more than an hour. With only 65% accuracy, Chen would make mistakes in almost every 3 forks. In 1 hour, Chen walked out of the hive 46 times. The longest stay was 8 minutes and 32 seconds. But according to Chen's judgment, in those 8 minutes, at least 6 minutes, Chen was on the periphery of the hive, and only more than 1 minute was spent going deeper. If I continue to go around like this, I might as well stop at the origin and not move. Maybe I can change my position by luck and reach the core area. Chen sighed. If I had remembered the coordinates of this black hole in my previous life, if he had the coordinates, Chen could directly use the space transmission device to cross the chaotic and distorted space channel of the hive and directly reach the location of the black hole. No, in fact, I can completely deduce the coordinates of the spatial location of this black hole. Chen suddenly remembered that after he entered the hive, his coordinates would actually be displayed on the map. He could completely estimate the final location of the black hole by eliminating the previous location through the elimination method. In the previous life, no player had a space transmission device that could directly reach the target location by inputting space coordinates. Therefore, when exploring a place where the space is constantly distorted and changing, no one would pay special attention to the coordinates of the universe where they are. But now it is different. The black hole is the ultimate reason for the constant distortion and change of the space of this hive. Therefore, the only stable position in the entire hive is the core area where the black hole is located. This allows Chen to find a shortcut. After spending another 2 hours to constantly eliminate the coordinate points inside the hive, Chen finally confirmed 3 coordinate points where black holes may exist. Among these 3 possible coordinate points, one is definitely a black hole, and the other may be another core area. Although Chen does not know why the coordinate points of that core area are fixed, all kinds of bizarre phenomena in the universe may occur at any time, so Chen did not think too much about it. The only thing that puzzled Chen was the third suspected coordinate point. Could it be that this hive has a third core area? Chen held a puzzled mentality and input one of the coordinate points into the space transmission device. Chapter 198 Destruction Report. This should be the remains of the 7th level civilization. Chen looked at the surrounding environment. This was a dark blue enclosed space. Chen seemed to have directly entered the interior of the ruins through the space transmission channel. Chen walked forward, and there was an energy shield on his body that was releasing outwards. The weapons inside the ruins that were used to prevent invaders were useless in front of him. The preservation degree is very high, and there are no signs of damage. No one should have been here before. A very normal civilization with technological weapons. The direction of branch technology should be Gundam combat robots. Chen's genetic computer was constantly reading the information inside the ruins. Destruction Report. A document attracted Chen's attention. On August 6, 18,572 in the Ganos calendar, the war ended. In the 2,000 years of war with the Gilmos civilization, our civilization was eventually destroyed by the other side. Our fleet is the last survivor of the Ganos civilization. Fortunately, we have all the technology of civilization in our hands. We only need to find a safe place. In another 100 years, the Ganos civilization will revive again. On November 4, 18,572 in the Ganos calendar, after 3 months of escape, we completely got rid of the pursuit of the Gilmos civilization, and we also found this beehive. After discussion, we decided to use this beehive as a temporary stopover for our civilization. On November 6, 18,572 in the Ganos calendar, this beehive has undergone changes that we cannot understand. The space distortion inside has been changing all the time. With our current supercomputers alone, there is no way to simulate the space change model here. Moreover, in this beehive, our warships will suddenly be swallowed up by the surrounding space channels and completely lose contact. But our fleet has all entered the beehive. Damn, why didn't there be such a change here 2 days ago? November 10, 18,572 in the Ganos calendar. It took 4 days and 80% of our fleet was lost. However, under such circumstances, we did not leave the hive, but instead reached the core area of the hive. This hive is so weird, completely different from what is described in the data. It is like a brand new cosmic phenomenon. We named it the honeycomb cage. November 11, 18,572 in the Ganos calendar. After entering the core area, the space here seems to be close to stability, just like a normal hive, and there will be no more weird space swallowing phenomena. November 25, 18,572 in the Ganos calendar. Damn it, what did I see? What on earth is that? It seems to be peeping at us. Could this thing be the void life form mentioned by the Shura Civilization? But why would such a life form appear in such a place? December 1st, 18,572 in the Gano's calendar. Someone suddenly disappeared. Everything in his room is normal, and there is no sign of invasion on the entire battleship. Could it be the creature I saw a few days ago? However, I was the only one who saw it in the entire civilization. The directors of the Royal Council did not believe what I said at all. December 3rd, 18,572 in the Gano's calendar. The number of missing people is increasing, but there is no clue at all. I can guarantee that this must be the void life form mentioned by the Shura Civilization. The directors believed what I said this time, but what's the use? We don't know how to deal with the void life form at all. We sent out 4 warships, wanting to let these warships leave this core area and go to the outside world of the hive. But these warships lost contact completely as soon as they left the core area. Despair has enveloped everyone in our entire civilization. December 27th, 18,572 in the Gano's calendar. I saw them. I saw the missing people. They walked past me. They were in this warship, but I couldn't touch them. But they could see me. I don't know. Someone had said this a few days ago, but I was still skeptical at the time. The people from the research department checked all the warships, but found nothing. This is a high-level spiritual technology. Is spiritual technology also one of the abilities of void life forms? December 31st, 18,572 in the Gano's calendar. We are finished. A supreme god appeared in front of us. He said that these were all his experiments. Now the experiments are over, but our civilization will be buried here forever with this experiment. This report should be written by a general of the civilization. After their civilization fled here, it seemed that they encountered a void experiment conducted by a 4th-generation god here. The supreme god said that it was produced 20,000 years ago. Looking at the degree of damage to this relic, all this should have happened between 16,000 and 17,000 years ago. At that time, the only supreme god-level existence engaged in void research was the god of time, Chen. But at that time, the god of time, Chen, should have traveled in the universe. However, if all of this is true, then there may be void life forms in the 3rd core area. However, it is also possible that the void life form here has disappeared. After all, the overall degree of space distortion and danger here are much weaker than in this report. Chen took out the bronze mirror. As a result, the bronze mirror immediately began to vibrate, as if trying to break free from the restrictions. This guy wants to escape from here? Chen felt the emotions coming from the bronze mirror. It was a complex emotion that included fear, panic, disgust and hatred. Chen didn't know how he felt this emotion, but it seemed that this void life form could share its emotions with Chen. Who is this emotion directed at? Is it the void life form that appeared here at that time, or the supreme god who is suspected to be the god of time, Chen? Chen bought an item called Void Wall from the Divine Diamond Mall. This item can only be purchased 10 times, and the price is as high as 8 million divine diamonds. The effect of such a high price is that it can isolate oneself from the connection between the void world and the real world for a short period of time. In other words, the void ability will be ineffective for the user within a period of time. Come on, let me see what secrets are here. Chapter 199 Time God Chen. The 1064th experiment, as expected, still failed. The void life form does not have any rational faith before it completely enters the known universe. If you want to communicate with it, you must enter the void world where this void life form is currently located. My idea is still too fanciful. These branches that are split by the void life form and contact the real world cannot become new individuals. An old man in a white robe sighed as he looked at the transparent light ball in his hand. This is the picture that appeared in front of Chen after he used the space transmission device for the 2nd time. Obviously, this is the 3rd core area that Chen did not expect. But now, it seems to be replaying what happened here in the past. The 1068th experiment. During this experiment, my experimental site accidentally broke into a fleet of survivors of a destroyed level 7 civilization. I was obsessed with data analysis before and did not notice them entering the hive. Their arrival caused a special change in this experiment. The clips that appeared in front of Chen were intermittent, but each clip had one thing in common, that is, the old man in a white robe was recording his own experimental report on the microcomputer in his hand. New changes have occurred. The branches of the void life forms released by me have begun to devour those who have escaped, and as they devour, the mental fluctuations they convey seem to be much more active. These branches seem to be gradually giving birth to their own consciousness. The picture changed again, but this time, the voice of the old man in a white robe became a lot crazier. I understand. The essence of the void is spirit. The difference between void life forms and us is that they are the embodiment of the spiritual dimension. The reason why I couldn't turn their branches into individual lives before was because I overlooked one point. The essence of life existence is the joint effect of idealism and materialism. I only noticed matter, but ignored another layer. Even if the essence of some void life forms is the embodiment of spiritual thinking, they are still matter and need a consciousness to exist. Those split bodies cannot become individuals because they have lost the control of a consciousness. The world we live in is three-dimensional, and the void is a higher dimension. The three-dimensional world can enter a higher dimension through different aspects, and the spiritual dimension like the void life form is one of the options. After these split bodies come to the known universe, if they lose the control of the main consciousness in the fourth dimension, they will become three-dimensional and become unconscious objects. I understand. I know everything. The scene ends here. There are actually many problems with the words of this white-robed old man, but the amount of information contained in them is very large. My goal is to have the ability to control time. But why is it always related to the void recently? Chen smiled bitterly. Did you see it all? A voice suddenly appeared behind Chen, making Chen's scalp numb. Chen looked back and saw the old man in white robes in the previous picture appeared behind him. As a fourth-generation divine body, even if Morgana used her space ability to appear behind him, Chen could find her before she appeared behind him. When did you appear? Chen knew without guessing that the ability used by the other party was the void ability. You are wrong. I did not use the void ability, or you can also understand that my current state of life is the void. A faint smile appeared on the old man's face. You are the god of time, Jilin. Chen frowned, facing such an existence whose ability and strength are completely unknown. Chen's mood was unprecedentedly nervous. You can call me that, but in fact, this is just one of me. What the hell are you? I said, I am the void. You mean, you found the truth of the void in that experiment, and what you said about wandering in space to the entire universe is actually turning into a void life. Chen wanted to communicate with Yen through the intergalactic communication device, but what Chen didn't expect was that this black technology from the dream world couldn't be used at this time. You are wrong again. The old man shook his head. I am the god of time, Jilin? But I am not him. What do you mean? Chen had a terrible guess in his heart. My experiment was actually successful in the end, and the god of time Jilin finally used the results of his experiment on himself. So the god of time Jilin became the void, and his main body became a void life form and went to the void world. And I am his split body. After devouring those void life split bodies that began to have self-awareness, I successfully gave birth to my own consciousness. Chen's hands were clenched at some point, and his palms were full of sweat. But it took me a very long time to successfully give birth to self-consciousness. The main body had left before I gave birth to self-consciousness, so I don't know what happened after that. The old man's eyes were very gentle from beginning to end. But Chen would not relax his vigilance because of this. According to his previous understanding, Chen knew that as a split body of thought, the god of time in front of him was actually incomplete. His thoughts would be very one-sided and there was no way to think about a thing completely. So Chen had no way to use ordinary people's thoughts to speculate the thoughts of this guy in front of him. Which layer of the void world can your void power penetrate? Chen asked tentatively. Fourth layer. Very good. You can ask this question. It seems that you know something about the void. The old man smiled with relief. Then which layer of the void world is your main body's thinking latitude heading to? Seeing the old man answer directly, Chen hurriedly continued to ask. On the 6th floor, the god of time. Jilin is the most intelligent god in the known universe. His thinking level is the known universe, and other people cannot compare with him. So even if he abandons his own technological capabilities, he can go to the 6th floor of the Void World and have the top level 9 combat power. The old man did not hesitate and answered Mo Chen's question directly. 4th and 6th floors? Mo Chen thought of the conversation between the sun goddess Reina and the god of time, Jilin, in the anime. So was the god of time Jilin who appeared at that time a split body or the main body? So now the main body of the god of time Jilin is in the 2nd floor of the Void World? I don't know about this. After I was born with self-awareness, the thinking forms I have are completely disconnected from the main body's thinking forms. Is that so? Mo Chen nodded and fell into thought. However, the split body suddenly said, "You are very different. In general, the bodies in the universe will be transformed, and as their strength continues to increase, the breadth of their thinking will continue to expand. If a god with level 9 combat power becomes a void life form, he will at least be a void life form of the 5th level of the Void World. But you are different. The breadth of your thinking can only reach the 4th level of the Void World, but your strength is indeed level 9. Moreover, your thinking is very special, and it is different from other lives in this universe. In a sense, your thinking seems to be more perfect. Although I have become a separate individual, the thinking I have is incomplete. If I can devour you, my thinking can be preserved or even more perfect, surpassing the main body." In an instant, the old man attacked Mo Chen from the 4th level of the Void World. Chapter 200 Gambling. Sure enough, since Mo Chen had already prepared, the attack that the time god Jilin's split body had prepared for a long time in the 4th layer of the Void World failed to hit. The void wall had been opened by Mo Chen, so this split body whose all abilities depended on the Void World would not be able to cause any harm to Mo Chen in the next 20 minutes. Now it seems that according to this guy, the Super Combat Power Enhancement card can indeed increase my strength by 1 level, but this improvement is only for the known universe, and I still have no change for higher dimensions. Mo Chen looked at this split body and felt extremely tricky for a while. Although the opponent's attack is completely ineffective against him now, Mo Chen has no ability to attack the void at all. So the current situation is that neither side can do anything to the other, but Mo Chen's invincibility against this split body can only last for 20 minutes. Dream Realm. Is your stuff useful? Why can't the Interstar communication device be used here? For the items sold in the Divine Diamond Mall, unless otherwise specified, all rules are only valid for the known universe. Do you mean this is a void world? No, but all the anomalies here are caused by the void. Mo Chen began to think about what he had that could deal with this split body. If I rely on the void bomb, there is no way to cause actual damage to him. Instead, it will continuously replenish his void energy. And if I use the mirror over there is no one with the strength of the initial level 8 who can copy the mirror. Mo Chen suddenly realized that there really was one. If he removed the increase in the Super Combat Power Enhancement card now, his strength would actually be the initial level 8. It needs to be explained here. It has been said before that the 4th layer of the Void World corresponds to the combat power of the late 8th level. The reason why Mo Chen's thinking dimension can reach the level of the 4th layer of the Void World is not because his current strength has reached the stronger stage of the 3rd generation of Divine Body, but because he has experienced rebirth once. His thinking dimension level is higher than his real strength. But holding that mirror to look at myself, Mo Chen hesitated. As he learned more about the void, he had roughly analyzed what the mirror copied. The 3 clones copied by the mirror are the defective products of the main body reflected in the thinking dimension of the void world. Although Mo Chen did not know what the 3 different images reflected by the mirror represented, but there is no doubt that it will not be good. And Mo Chen did not know whether using the mirror to copy himself would have any side effects on himself, especially knowing that a large part of the things in the dream world are only used in the known universe. If there is any side effect, it is very likely that the resurrection engine cannot solve it. After weighing the pros and cons, Mo Chen decided to use the space transmission device first. First try to leave this hive and go to the outside world to bring Yen here. After all, everyone has his own expertise, and Chen still hopes to have a safe way to solve this problem, but even the space transmission device cannot be used. Chen was a little shocked. According to Yen, the ability to travel around the universe at will belongs to the ability of the 5th level void world. This means that this ability is actually an ability of a high-dimensional level. Even if it is not a corresponding void, it should not be bound here in theory. The space transmission device uses the 10th level space ability, not the ability of a higher level dimension. The dream world gave the answer. I am ignorant. Chen sighed in his heart. It seems that there is no way. Chen stared at the split body of the time god Jilin, who seemed to have begun to lose his mind not far away from him, and sighed. He took out the bronze mirror, but now there is no figure in the bronze mirror. Using this bronze mirror can indeed solve Chen's current dilemma, but the void wall that Chen is using now also makes this bronze mirror unable to work on Chen. In other words, if Chen wants to use this bronze mirror, he needs to give up the void wall and the super combat power enhancement card at the same time. However, Chen did not know the copying process and copying time of this bronze mirror. What technology does the resurrection engine use? Chen asked his last question to the dream world. The 6th layer of the void world, the sub-biological engine of the angel civilization, uses the power of the 3rd layer of the void world, and this is the 6th layer. Okay, let's bet. Chen touched the void wall and the super combat power enhancement card at the same time. At the first moment of release, 3 figures of Chen appeared on the bronze mirror. Chen also felt his spirit trembled, and the divine body gene began to be invaded. The void attack of the split body also came at the same time. Start copying. Chen used the authority given to him by Yan to use this bronze mirror. Afterwards, Chen had to use all the computing power in his body to fight against the void ability of the split body. This void ability negates the various functions of a body's divine body gene, causing the divine body gene to not function normally. However, if the thinking latitudes of both parties are not too different, this negation is very difficult to achieve. Therefore, Chen can use the recovery function of his own divine body gene to continuously recode to restore the negated functions, so as to resist this void attack. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.